Okay. It's Saturday! You know what that means? We're live! Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms. And I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com, as of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn a Twitter handle wait for it. Wait for it. To Mankind. And this is the official Lightning Flash update for Saturday, January 15th, 2022. Woo! Woo! Little out of breath there. Little out of breath there, but I'm hanging in there. How's my mic coming in? Is the stream coming in good? No technical difficulties? If there is, please make me aware of them. Whew. I'm already out of breath. It's ridiculous. Check the chat. Whoa. Let's check the chat. What do we got? We got Rob Wells Jr. He says my mic is good. Thank you very much, Mr. Rob Wells Jr. We also got Adam Carl. He says that intro was better than 7 hours of WWE television. I mean, you're correct. Of course, we got DJ Sums saying that his mic is good. We also got One True Ryan Renegade saying he's doing the Batista entrance. So I think that pretty much sums up the DJ Storms entrance right there. We got Brian King. How you doing, Brian King? I hope that you're doing well. Hope the family is doing well. We got Matt Moody. How you doing, Matt Moody? Greatly appreciate Matt Moody stopping by. Matt Moody is a legend in his own right. Lots of good people. I'm happy to see a lot of good people here on this fine Saturday afternoon. I pushed the stream back an extra half hour because I did get my booster. I'm feeling good. No problems whatsoever. I'm already losing my voice based on that intro. But we got a lot to talk about. There's a lot to talk about here. Greatly appreciate everyone joining me here. It's always appreciated when you guys come on in and hang with me on Saturdays to talk professional wrestling, especially when you guys could literally be doing anything else, but you choose to come and hang with me. As I try and regain my voice, we are going to get into a lot of interesting topics today. Sasha Banks is out with an injury. She will be missing the Royal Rumble. Of course, we got WWE pulling out some surprises for the Royal Rumble, which do not look very good at all. We're going to go over that. We're going to go about Wardlow. Wardlow potentially on the radar of WWE. They want to snag Wardlow away. MLW has sued WWE, and Bruce Prichard took over NXT. I mean, this was already known. I'm not sure why everyone is acting all shocked. I'm not sure why everyone is making a big deal out of it now. I'm not sure why everyone is getting all shocked and surprised over this. This has been known, at least to the smart people like me. And then, of course, we got 6 weekly show reviews: Raw, NXT, Dynamite, NXT UK, SmackDown, and Rampage. But first things first. Before we get into everything that's going on, I see Lisa Marie. Lisa Marie, good morning. Well, actually, it's good afternoon. We got Italian pastry, coffee, and tea. A little hungover, of course you are, because you texted me you were having 7 fucking beers last night. Unbelievable you are. But we got a lot to talk about. Before we get into the topics today, please make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Again, Twitter and Instagram at @the_DJ_storms. That is @the_DJ_storms. Add me on Facebook as well for collaborations and business inquiries. Please make sure that you send me an email. My email is, of course, stormstakeover@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite. To join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. That is, all of those links are in the description. Also, if you guys want to check out the rewind for AEW Battle of the Belts 2022, that link is also in the description. I had B Mack of the Midwest Marks podcast. He is a great individual, very knowledgeable, very chill individual. He was on my show. We broke down the show. Good wrestling show, but very lackluster overall. It really didn't live up to AEW standards, but it was a decent pro wrestling show. And then, of course, we got none other than the usual shtick with YouTube. We are almost 8 minutes into the stream. If you haven't liked the video, I don't know what you're doing. Gotta make sure you like the video, and you gotta make sure that you share it out on all platforms, social media. I'm talking about Twitter and Instagram and Pinterest and Tumblr and Facebook and Snapchat and TikTok, whatever social media platforms that you may use. How you doing, Dylan Catchum? Great to see you in here. Greatly appreciate you stopping by. We got a lot to talk about. We got a big crowd, 12 people so far. Let's see if we can get to at least 20. Share the stream out, people, on all platforms, social media, whatever platform that you use. And please make sure that you hit the subscribe button and hit the notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube, because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it is, of course, the best time to be on YouTube. The only time you're going to get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combo, this beautiful mustache right here. Give me 1 second. Earl Cole's not here. Not sure where Earl Cole is. We'll probably see him later on, but we're still going to light it up right here on the show with a little and a dash of and a whole lot of because I'm as good as Campbell's soup. So good. Because everybody wants a piece of the Storms Meister. You already know the drill. God, I can't even recover from that fucking intro. My intro's starting to take a lot out of me. Unbelievable. But regardless of all that, I think it's time that we get right into the festivities here on the LFU. Let's get straight into the news, rumors, and reports. First report, WWE announced last week that Sasha Banks will be out 6 to 8 weeks. She suffered a foot injury at a live event, which was made public on social media, and it ended up being an injury. Although it wasn't major and she's not going to be out for months on end, this is still a major blow, as she was probably a lot of people's favorite to win the Royal Rumble and go on to face, more likely than not, Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Now, we could still get that. We could have her go through the chamber if they do the chamber, although Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, he said that there is going to be a chamber in Saudi Arabia, but it's going to be called the WrestleMania chamber instead of the Elimination Chamber, which is fucking stupid in its own right. But Sasha could come back and win that. We could see that. Or we could just see WWE do the same thing that they did with Drew McIntyre and just have Drew McIntyre announced as the opponent for Bobby Lashley. They could have Sasha come back and she could just be announced as the opponent for Charlotte. And she does nothing to earn it. I don't like it. It's shitty, but that's WWE for you. Shit. That's WWE for you. But this is a major blow for the women's division. And it really goes to show you that WWE, they rely too much on the same people over and over and over and over and over again. And it has become increasingly hard. It really has. It has become increasingly hard to invest in anything that WWE is doing. Even Roman Reigns and his title reign has become a little stagnant. And that's not his fault. That just goes to show you that WWE has not built up anyone to even look believable breathing the same air as Roman Reigns. Never mind competing against Roman Reigns in a match for the Universal Championship. And that's the tough part. They do not build credibility for any other talent outside of the typical people. Roman, Lesnar, Charlotte, Becky, Randy, Usos, New Day. That's it. That's it. When the ratings are going down, they call upon a Goldberg. They call upon a John Cena. They call upon a Lita or a fucking Trish Stratus. People like that. Put the title on Charlotte. Put the title on Becky. Put the title on Brock. Same shit over and over again. And this just goes to show you that the brand split and the women's division, they need to be merged and they need to become one. They need to become one sooner rather than later. I got a report from Fightful. As to why WWE revealed more than half of the field for the Women's Royal Rumble. Fightful Select reported that WWE revealed more than half of the Women's Royal Rumble because they wanted to help boost ticket sales and increase buzz for the show. And there is still, and I quote, plenty of room for more surprises and likely will be, end quote. That right there, that response just goes to show you how clueless WWE really is. It really does, because the Royal Rumble is an event that sells itself. People don't care about anything that else is going on because of the Royal Rumble matches. And the Royal Rumble matches, they're built on unpredictability. They're built on surprises. They are built on the adrenaline that we get when that buzzer is counting down. That is why people go and watch the Royal Rumble. That's why people pay tickets to go to the Royal Rumble. But now you're pretty much eliminating that factor. You're pretty much taking out all of the excitement from the Royal Rumble. Why? Just because you think that your show is going to suffer? And that right there just goes to show you that WWE is admitting failure and admitting that their product sucks without actually admitting that their product sucks. That right there just goes to show you how shitty of a position WWE is in right now. You don't need to reveal half of the fucking field for the Women's Royal Rumble just because you think it'll help boost ticket sales. You should be worried about putting on an overall good show, because that way, if you put on an overall good show, more and more people would be open to paying money to buy tickets to go to the event. It's not that hard to understand. You pretty much eliminated the one factor that is going to help sell the Royal Rumble. There is absolutely no justification for revealing X amount of women that are going to be in the Royal Rumble. There's no excuse for revealing a Lita or a Mickie James or a fucking Kelly or a Michelle McCool. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. And it goes to show you that WWE is also desperate as well. They destroyed the one factor that is going to sell the Royal Rumble. Now that people have pretty much become aware of the surprises, this could work against the WWE. And we could have people not going out to buy tickets to go to the event because they already know who's going to be in the fucking match. I guarantee you right now that people could pretty much predict who's going to win the Royal Rumble just based on this field alone. WWE did themselves a huge disservice. No fucking reason why they should have revealed 19 women that were going to be in the Rumble. Lisa, I see your comment. And that was actually the report that I was going to talk about next. I'm not sure if Lisa is stalking me in her free time or she is sneaking into my room to read my notebook in which I take my notes in for the show, but Lisa is correct. Melana and Cameron. Yes, you remember Cameron, one half of the Funkadactyls, Naomi's former tag team partner. Melana and Cameron, according to PW Insider, are reportedly two of the women's surprises that could very well be in the Women's Royal Rumble match. I mean, do you give a shit? Honestly, do you? I don't. I don't give a shit, to be quite honest with you, because at the end of the day, Cameron was complete fucking trash. Cameron is no better than fucking Alexa Bliss. She's no better than fucking Kelly. Melana was Melana was okay, but this pretty much goes against everything that WWE has pretty much laid down on everyone. Oh, no women over 25 years old. Meanwhile, you're bringing back a fucking 45-year-old Melana, or however old she is. You're bringing back a 40-year-old Melana because you fired so many people that now you need to bring back these aging legends to come and fill spots in the Royal Rumble. Maybe if you didn't fire fucking Tegan Knox, you didn't fire a Mia Yim, you didn't fire a Deonna Purrazzo, you didn't fire a Ruby Riott, maybe if you didn't let Toni Storm walk after you treated her like shit, maybe you'd have enough spots to fill the Women's Royal Rumble. Cameron is an absolute embarrassment of a women's wrestler. She should just stick to posting pictures on OnlyFans. I don't know if she has an OnlyFans, and to be quite honest with you, I don't give a shit. I don't know if she does, but that's pretty much all she's good for. She's not good for wrestling. Melana was okay. But again, how are we supposed to give a shit about a 40-year-old Melana when it's just a one-off? And on top of that, it goes against everything that WWE has laid down on the roster. So they're pretty much admitting to you that they're hypocrites. Fucking stupid. The Women's Royal Rumble could very well be in top contention for one of the worst matches of the year. Not even bullshitting you. WrestleVotes. WrestleVotes actually reported some rather interesting material. They tweeted out a couple of interesting tweets. First tweet was in regards to Wardlow. And they tweeted out, with his biggest match to date happening later tonight, this was on Wednesday, I can confirm without hesitation that WWE will be extremely interested in luring Wardlow away from AEW when his contract is due. There are several people within World Wrestling Entertainment that love his potential. End quote. Now, a lot of people have been saying that Wardlow would favor very well in WWE. You know, maybe if this was 8-9 months ago, maybe I would agree. Maybe I would say, yeah, you're right. Wardlow would be just fine in AEW because Wardlow checks off all the boxes that Vince McMahon wants in a WWE superstar. He has all the credentials of being a Vince McMahon guy. However, I'm not sure if anyone is aware of this. I'm not sure if people seem to have short-term memory loss. I'm not sure if people just seem to be fucking retarded. Maybe they are just fucking retarded because, again, nobody is as smart as me. But let's be real here. not sure if everyone is aware of this, but there was a man who also checked off all the boxes of what Vince wants in a superstar. There was another man that WWE had that checked off all the credentials of being a Vince McMahon guy. I'm not sure if you guys realize this, but he goes by the name now of Killer Kross. He went by Karrion Kross in WWE, right? He was a Vince McMahon guy. You look at him, and he's a guy that Vince McMahon would jizz his pants over. Am I wrong? Of course not. I'm never wrong. Karrion Kross was a Vince McMahon guy. You look at him, and he's a Vince McMahon guy. What did they do to him? Triple H brought him in. He booked him like a fucking superstar. And then after 14 months in NXT, he gets called up. They strip him of everything that made him special. They took away the smoke, the lights, Scarlet. They took away the Fallen Prey theatrics and shit. He makes his debut on Monday Night Raw as the NXT champion. As the NXT champion, right? WWE has him lose to Jeff Hardy in less than 2 minutes. Less than 2 minutes. Buried right then and there. Buried right then and there, right? After TakeOver 36, where he lost the NXT title to Samoa Joe, who, by the way, they fired as well. He loses the NXT title to Joe. He gets called up, and on his first night as a full-time member of the main roster without the NXT title, what do? They put him in a hatchet mask, and he looked like he was getting ready to fight the Green and Blue Knight down at Medieval Times. He was getting ready to send someone to the fucking guillotine. All he was missing is a fucking black horse to come riding in on. They turned him into a fucking medieval hatchet man / demolition love child. He lost to Keith Lee. Then he competes in a couple of squash matches. Then he starts to get these eerie video packages, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, this has potential. 3 weeks into the promo packages, they fire him. He didn't even last 6 months. Didn't even last 6 months on the main roster. So let me ask you this question. After I just described that, if Karrion Kross couldn't succeed in the WWE, what makes you think Wardlow will favor any better? Not only that, this goes against everything that WWE has pretty much sent upon its roster. Just like I said with Melana, now they're going out of their way to hire a guy in Wardlow who's over 30 years old, and he didn't come from some Joe Schmo college playing football or baseball or basketball or fucking lacrosse. No, he came from the independent scene. AEW brought him in, and AEW has been grooming and building him up to be a top star in their company. So now WWE is thinking, oh man, now we want Wardlow. No, they don't want Wardlow because they want to utilize him correctly. They don't want Wardlow because of his potential. You know why they want Wardlow? I'll tell you exactly why they want Wardlow. They want Wardlow because they are trying to lure anyone. It doesn't matter who. It could be fucking Daniel Garcia for all we know. All they want is to lure someone from AEW that's been with AEW for a long period of time. They want to lure an AEW individual that came in AEW from day one. They want to lure an AEW individual away and sign him to a WWE contract or her to a WWE contract just so they can parade him or her around either on television or they can tweet him out on social media and say, hey, look, we got one of the opposing members' teammates. We got an AEW superstar on WWE television. I guess AEW isn't the place to be. That's the only reason why they want Wardlow. They want Wardlow merely for the satisfaction of stealing an individual that's been AEW for the longest time and putting him or her on WWE television just to rub it in the face of AEW and gain the approval of all these fucking retards on social media that do nothing but suck the WWE dick every single day on social media. That's the only reason why they want Wardlow. And it doesn't even have to be Wardlow. It could legitimately be anybody. That's the only reason why they want Wardlow. If they wanted Wardlow from the beginning, they would have hired him long before AEW was even a thing. But they didn't. They didn't. Did they? Again, goes to show you the hypocrisy that WWE is operating under, and on top of the fact that they are now just showing interest in Wardlow, especially after he's starting to pick up steam, especially when Wardlow right now is involved in a top storyline in AEW, where he is going to turn babyface on MJF, and he's going to go on a mega babyface run. They were chanting Wardlow last night on Rampage during a Shawn Spears promo. And that goes to show you right there that Wardlow, they got big plans for Wardlow. Now all of a sudden WWE wants Wardlow? If this was 7-8 months ago and Karrion Kross was still with the company and he was succeeding, I would say, yeah, Wardlow has a chance. But if Karrion Kross couldn't succeed, and he is pretty much a carbon fucking copy of Wardlow, except Wardlow is a better wrestler than Karrion Kross, take nothing away from Karrion Kross, Wardlow's just a better wrestler. But if Karrion Kross couldn't succeed, and he's pretty much a carbon copy of Wardlow, but Wardlow's a better wrestler, what makes you think Wardlow's going to have any better luck? What makes you think Wardlow's even going to have one iota of a chance in WWE if Kross couldn't succeed? He's not. He's not. I'm sorry. Wardlow don't stand a chance if Karrion Kross couldn't succeed. WrestleVotes also tweeted out something related to the WWE Impact Wrestling partnership, and I use that term very loosely, partnership. There is no fucking partnership. It's nothing more than a fucking one-off, and it's nothing more than WWE trying desperately to be cool. They tweeted out something regarding the partnership. Loosely, I use that term. They tweeted out, and I quote, "Had more than one source this weekend, without me directly asking, state they believe WWE will try an unexpected Forbidden Door entrant for the men's Royal Rumble. Personally, I'm skeptical it happens, but I can confirm WWE is at least open to the idea, which is exciting enough." End quote. I mean, let's be real here. This is probably just a source telling WrestleVotes something that they want to hear. I am not discrediting WrestleVotes, because WrestleVotes, I don't know who's behind the account, but they're a very credible source. They've gotten a lot of things right as of lately. WrestleVotes is a very credible source, so I'm not going to discredit WrestleVotes in that regard. But if we're going to be real here, I mean, this is just WWE giving people false hope. And if it does happen, it's not going to be a big star. It's not going to be a Moose. It's not going to be an Eddie Edwards. It's not going to be a fucking Sami Callihan. He's out injured. It's not going to be a fucking Josh Alexander. It's not going to be that at all. It's probably going to be some lower undercard talent that worked in WWE previously, and WWE is just going to fill a spot in the Rumble, which is pretty much a spit in the face to a lot of full-time participants in the Rumble match as we speak. There's nothing exciting about this non-existent AEW WWE partnership. People are getting their hopes up way too much, when in reality, they don't even see through the bullshit that WWE is spewing them. And it's quite fucking pathetic, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. It really is fucking pathetic. Not even bullshitting. It is pathetic. Really is. Sean Ross Sapp. I'm actually going to take it easy on Sean Ross Sapp. He's still a hypersensitive pussy, but it's boring now to shit on him. It's boring to shit on Sean Ross Sapp now. He's still a pussy, and I do his job better than he ever could, but it is what it is. He's actually a very credible source. I'll give him that. That much I will give him. But Sean Ross Sapp tweeted out that there was an injury in a match that was taped before NXT went live on the air. The tweet read, and I quote, "The Odyssey Jones and Surav match being taped was stopped. Jones was helped to the back after suffering an apparent injury. Sorry, I can't even fucking read my own handwriting. Odyssey Jones and Surov. Listen, I love Odyssey Jones. Odyssey Jones is going to be a solid hand in NXT, but let's be real here. Let's be real. Odyssey Jones is still very green. He'll get better, but he's still very green. He's pretty much a less athletic version of Keith Lee. Odyssey Jones is not all that good right now. He's okay, but he's not good. He'll get good, but right now he's not. And Surov, I've never fucking heard of Surov. For all we know, he could be just as green as fucking Cora Jade. So at the end of the fucking day here, Scott Garland, aka Scotty Too Hottie, was right. Can't do green on green because it's going to be dangerous. It's going to cause injuries. And lo and behold, Odyssey Jones has now suffered an injury. WWE, I'm telling you right now, they are going to be in for a rude awakening if shit like this continues to happen. It really is. And to be quite honest with you, I have no sympathy towards WWE. I feel bad for Odyssey Jones. I hope he gets better because I like Odyssey Jones. I'm a fan of Odyssey Jones, but at the end of the day, let's be real here. This is all WWE's fault. We got MLW. MLW. I know this was a major talking point, although it has pretty much lost a lot of steam now. It's pretty much lost a lot of steam. MLW has filed an antitrust lawsuit against WWE. The lawsuit was towards WWE's ongoing attempts to undermine competition and monopolize the pro wrestling market by interfering with MLW's contracts and business prospects. And this, from the way that you're reading it, you would think that it came from some fucking fan who stays up till 2 a.m. in the morning watching anime porn. No, this was a legitimate thing. So as part of the complaint, WWE pressured third parties to abandon contracts and prospective relationships with MLW. WWE's misconduct included disrupting every level of MLW's business, including a major streaming deal for MLW. If you're wondering what it is, it's WWE not being happy with MLW playing or MLW being showcased on Vice TV, especially when we had Dark Side of the Ring on Vice TV, which actually has a pretty interesting presentation of WWE. So the fact that Vice is allowing Dark Side of the Ring, which pretty much shits on WWE, and rightfully so, and now they got MLW, I don't think that WWE is very happy about that. But the MLW CEO, Court Bayor, don't really know how to pronounce his last name, Bayor, he stated, and I quote, WWE has been wrongfully depriving its competitors of critical opportunities for many years, but its latest conduct has been even more unconsiderable. I can't even fucking read my own handwriting. Or unacceptable. I can't fucking read my own handwriting. It's fucking unbelievable. Either way, he's pretty much saying that what WWE has been doing has been completely unacceptable. Let's just go with that. So we continued on by saying, I think we speak for the rest of the pro wrestling world when we say that this anti-competitive behavior has to stop. End quote. And that's pretty much the gist of MLW's lawsuit. Listen. I understand the excitement. And listen, I am actually in support of MLW. I don't disagree with anything that MLW said. I don't disagree. Everything that MLW said is correct. It's exactly what I've been saying. Everything that MLW said right here is 1,000% correct. MLW's got some balls. I'll give Court Bayor his just due. He's got fucking balls for doing that. To be quite honest, we need someone like that, but let's be real here. Let's be real here. How many times has WWE been in a position, or Vince McMahon, how many times has he been in a position where he should have gone to jail for years on end? How many times? Just think about it. How many times? The steroid trials, the Owen Hart case, the Chris Benoit incident. Those are the three biggest ones that I can think of in the last 20 years, more than 20 years, 30 years. How many times has Vince McMahon been in a position where he should have been put behind bars? More times than I can fucking count. And how many times has Vince McMahon actually been given his comeuppance? Zero. Absolutely zero. You know why? Because Vince McMahon is a fucking billionaire and he can pay the world's top 20 lawyers to defend him in court and get him if he was to commit murder right in the middle of the fucking Garden State Plaza Mall here in New Jersey with thousands of witnesses around him, and you would be able to see Vince McMahon pay off the top 20 lawyers to defend him in court and get him out of that case without him even serving one day in jail. If Vince McMahon was able to get out of those three incidents and more completely unscathed, what makes you think that MLW is even going to do anything to WWE? What makes you think that MLW is even going to make a dent in the armor that is WWE? Vince McMahon is the world's slickest, slyest businessman, and he can shit out money to a point where he is able to buy anything if he wanted to. He could fucking buy the fucking world if he wanted to with all the money that he's making, because he's just that good of a businessman. If Vince McMahon made it out of the steroid trials unscathed, if he made it out of the Owen Hart case unscathed, if he made it out of the fucking Chris Benoit incident unscathed, what makes you think that MLW is going to have any fucking effect on WWE whatsoever? This is not going to be a major news article. This isn't going to be some 2-year-long court case that stems all the way to 2024. This shit will be forgotten about within a couple of months. Everyone's making a big deal out of it. It doesn't even have that much buzz right now. It had about 2-3 hours of fucking buzz, and everything just died. Everything just died. MLW is not going to win. MLW is not going to do anything to WWE. This will not change a thing. So I don't understand why everyone is getting excited, but at the end of the day, yes, MLW's got balls. I don't disagree with anything MLW said. Matter of fact, they're correct in what they did, and they're correct in what they said, but let's be real. Outside of, with those three incidents, and Vince McMahon made it out, what makes you think MLW even stands a chance in taking down Vince McMahon? What makes you think MLW even stands a chance at winning this case? Never mind the fucking settlement. They're not even going to get a fucking settlement. Vince McMahon's just going to kill him right then and there because he has that power to do so. Money equals power in today's world. If you have money, you can pretty much do anything in this world and no one can touch you. I'm not saying it's right. It's not right at all. It's not right at all. It's fucking pathetic and I hate that. But at the end of the day, Vince McMahon is not going to be touched. He's not going to be touched. I'm sorry to let you all down, but at the end of the day, MLW ain't doing anything. They got balls, and they're correct in what they said, but they're not going to do anything. This shit will be forgotten about within a few months. And my final report, and then we're going to check the chat. My final report, then we'll check the chat, and then we'll get into the weekly show reviews. And I see some new guests. I see Lewis in the chat. Lewis 815. We got Earl Cole in the chat as well. And yes, Earl Cole is correct. I will be appearing on the Wrestling Experience next Thursday. And we're going to talk about AEW Dynamite, and I'm happy to do so. But my final report before we get into the weekly show reviews. Bruce Prichard Bruce Prichard. Yeah, everyone's favorite. Everybody's favorite creative writer, director of operations, Bruce Prichard. White Castle Prichard. PW Insider reported that there has been a big change made to the creative process, and NXT will no longer operate independently from main roster creative. You don't fucking say! You don't fucking say! The NXT creative team will now fall under the oversight of Bruce Prichard and Christine Lubrano. Johnny Russo will also be the head of the creative writing team under Prichard and Lubrano. I mean, I don't need a fucking report to tell me what's going on with NXT. I don't need no fucking report to tell me that Bruce Prichard is in charge. You know when Bruce Prichard took over? The moment that NXT TakeOver 36 ended. When NXT TakeOver 36 concluded, that was the end. That was the end, and Bruce Prichard took over NXT. They rebranded it. They repackaged everything, and shit completely got revamped. And now you see what you see today. Bruce Prichard has been in control of NXT. It has been Shawn Michaels. It has been Triple H. And the people that actually believe that Shawn Michaels and Triple H even have a say in what's going on, they're just as fucking retarded as I say they are. Stop fucking denying everything. Why is it that it takes a fucking report to actually tell everyone that what is going on is exactly what's going on? Why is it that people always shut out people like me, the smarter people that actually know what the fuck is going on, and they're not even a part of the scenario? They don't have any inside sources. I don't have any inside sources. I don't work for Vince McMahon. I don't work for AEW. I know nothing, but I see what's going on, and that's all you need. All you need is to take a look and see what's going on. Bruce Prichard has been in control of NXT for months. Months! It has nothing to fucking do with Bruce Prichard just taking over now. He's been in control. He's been in control. Shawn Michaels is not in control anymore. All Shawn Michaels is a figurehead. He's a guy that is going to stay there and do what he's told, because if he doesn't, he's going to end up just like everyone else. He's going to end up like Matt Bloom. He's going to end up like William Regal. He's going to end up like Scotty 2 Hotty. He's going to end up like all these other individuals. Fired. Gone. All that's left is Shawn Michaels and Triple H. And at this rate, once Bruce Prichard or John Laurinaitis or whoever, once they become fully integrated into the NXT system, I would not be surprised if Shawn Michaels is fired too. Won't be surprised in the slightest if Shawn Michaels is fired too. Shawn Michaels will be fired. Triple H, guarantee you that if he was not married to Stephanie McMahon, he would have been fired a long time ago. And if Dusty Rhodes was a part of the WWE, he would have been fired too. If he never passed away and he was still working for WWE, he would have been fired too. End of conversation. Fucking ridiculous that this is all just coming out now. This has been the norm for years now. Bruce Prichard and Vince McMahon has always been jealous of Triple H, envious towards Triple H. And every single time that an NXT superstar got called up to the main roster, minus the exceptions of the Horsewomen, The Shield, Damian Priest, and Matt Riddle, they've all been buried, destroyed. Fucking ridiculous. I'm getting sick and tired of this bullshit. I really am. Hula Grim, I heard about the tsunami warning. I hope that you stay safe. I hope that everything over there has been okay. Please get to a higher ground. I hope the tsunami isn't all too crazy. Hope that everything goes very, very well. Earl Cole, thank you for joining. Hula Grim, thank you for joining. Thank you, Lewis. Thank you all for stopping by the channel. Those are all your news, rumors, and reports for the week. And we are going to get into the weekly show reviews. We got 6 weekly show reviews to go over. Lots of material to talk about this week in the world of pro wrestling. I hope everyone is staying safe. I hope everyone is happy and healthy. I hope the month of January is treating you very, very, very well. Monday Night Raw. I mean, do I even need to say anything? Do I even need to say anything about Raw? Do I? Same old lackluster shit that we usually see for Raw. And Philadelphia, I don't know what the fuck was going on, but Philadelphia was fucking dead. Philadelphia is not what it used to be. And I was a part of the Battleground 2017 crowd where we saw Jinder Mahal and Randy Orton in the fucking Punjabi prison match. I was a part of that fucking crowd. So Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman, they kicked off the show. Heyman took the mic. Lashley and MVP were in the back. He was approached by Cedric and Shelton. He told them that the Almighty works alone and to get the hell out of here. I don't know why, and I don't know what this means. This is either going to be one of two things. We're either going to see Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander get fired in a couple of months, or this could all be a ploy, just like the Paul Heyman Roman Reigns storyline. That's a ploy. This could all be a ploy, and we could very well see the Hurt Business cost Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, and the almighty Bobby Lashley could very well become the WWE champion again, and the Hurt Business reforms. One of those two things. I don't know which way they're going to go, but if I'm a betting man, I'm probably going to say the first one. Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin and their days in WWE are numbered. So Paul Heyman did his usual shtick. Paul Heyman gave the mic to Lesnar. Lesnar was hyped. Lashley and MVP came out. MVP then said, "Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to present to you the almighty Bobby Lashley." Lashley then said, "It's an honor to share the spotlight with you, and it's an honor to tell you that for 20 years you've been ducking and running from me." Lesnar said, "It's an honor for me to be in the ring with me. And I apologize, but for the last 20 years, I've been winning championships in this ring and other rings. You didn't climb the ladder of success, because if you did, you would have lost and we wouldn't be standing here right now," said Brock Lesnar. Lashley then goes, "You're funny, man. You could start a comedian world tour after I beat you for the WWE Championship, and me and MVP will be sitting front row." So Brock then called Heyman over. He goes, "Knock, knock." So Brock Lesnar's telling Paul Heyman a fucking knock, knock joke. He goes, "Hey, Paul, knock, knock." Paul goes, "Brock, who's there?" Brock goes, "Bobby." Heyman goes, "Bobby who?" Lesnar goes, "Exactly." I thought that was fucking hilarious. I laughed. I laughed at that. I absolutely love that line. Lesnar goes, "It's tough to beat Brock Lesnar, and it's impossible to beat Brock Lesnar when you're a Brock Lesnar wannabe." Awesome line right there from Mr. Paul Heyman, or not Paul Heyman, not Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar. That was a great line right there. Awesome stuff right there. So afterwards, Heyman and Lesnar left. And out of nowhere, Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin came out to attack Bobby Lashley. And Bobby Lashley just absolutely demolished them. Very quick, very effective. Just demolished them. And that was pretty much that. Cedric and Shelton look like bums. I can absolutely see them getting released in a few months. The segment was very good. And Brock Lesnar as a babyface, this is actually great television. Really awesome stuff right there. Very good segment between Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. RK Bro versus the Alpha Academy. This was for the Raw Tag Team Championships. And I was actually a little shocked that they were doing this match so soon. This was pretty much a match by the numbers, really nothing too crazy. Riddle was in control early. We had a springboard floating bro to Gable on the floor. Coming back from commercial, Alpha Academy isolated Riddle. Riddle hit a flying floating bro onto Otis, which looked very nice. He tagged in Randy. Randy wrote on his hands to tag him in. Riddle listened to him. And we get Randy Orton getting the hot tag. He lit up Otis. He lit up Chad Gable. He hit a nice power slam to Chad Gable. Then we had a nice spike DDT attempt, but Gable stopped it. Orton cut off Gable on the top and gave him a nice superplex, very beautiful superplex. Then we get Otis taking out Matt Riddle on the floor. And Otis tagged in. Gable threw Orton into a world's strongest slam by Otis, and Otis pins Randy Orton clean 1-2-3 to win the Raw Tag Team titles for the Alpha Academy. I was legitimately shocked by this outcome. I did not think that the Alpha Academy were going to win. I had it in my mind that considering Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens, they were actually a little buddy-buddy. I had it in my mind that those two were going to be the ones to take the titles off of RK Bro at WrestleMania, but they're going a different route. Seems like they did this title change. Alpha Academy are the champions, and we could be looking at Matt Riddle versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania. And I would like to hope that by SummerSlam, we could very well see Matt Riddle challenging and winning the WWE Championship, because Matt Riddle should be in that position. Now, my complaint here is, number one, there should have been an actual build. I don't understand why the Alpha Academy didn't win the RK Bronament and you didn't do it at day one. And number two, I don't understand why you didn't either do it at the Rumble or WrestleMania. Why'd you just do it on a random episode of Monday Night Raw where the Philly crowd was pretty much equivalent to fucking corpses? Really, really, really stupid booking right there. But Alpha Academy are the tag team champions. Is there a potential that the Alpha Academy could very well lose the titles right back to RK Bro? Yes, absolutely, because it's WWE. But now the titles are on the Alpha Academy. If I'm booking this, I'm keeping the titles on the Alpha Academy. I'm probably going to be a betting man and say that at the Saudi show, which would be February 19th, the WrestleMania chamber that WWE is calling it, we get the WrestleMania chamber / elimination chamber at February 19th in Saudi Arabia, right? We can get a rematch between RK Bro and Alpha Academy. Alpha Academy retain, and RK Bro officially break up. Orton hits the RKO on Riddle, and they break up. Then we do Matt Riddle and Randy Orton at WrestleMania. Matt Riddle wins that match. With the Alpha Academy, you could do Alpha Academy versus the Street Profits at WrestleMania. And if I am booking this, I'm keeping the titles on the Alpha Academy. I'm keeping the titles on the Alpha Academy, and after WrestleMania, I'm calling up MSK. Now, it's obvious that WWE is not going to do the unification match, which is fucking terrible in its own right, because the tag team divisions are completely fucking dead. They're completely fucking dead. So if I am booking this, and they're not going to combine the rosters, which they should, but if they don't, then I'm going to call up MSK. MSK has won the Dusty Cup. They won the tag team titles. There's nothing for them to do on NXT anymore. I'm calling up MSK, and I am building MSK versus the Alpha Academy at SummerSlam in July, which I believe it could be July 29th, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that on July 29th, WWE announced SummerSlam. So if I'm booking this, I'm doing the Alpha Academy versus none other than MSK at SummerSlam. MSK are the Raw Tag Team Champions. The Alpha Academy have just enough people to get them through those months. You got the Mysterios, you got RK Bro, you got Street Profits. Maybe you do a multi-man tag team match. It is what it is there. But Alpha Academy, I'm keeping the titles on the Alpha Academy and building them up as the next top tier heel tag team, and calling up MSK, building them up and having MSK beat the Alpha Academy at SummerSlam, and then we can build up a heel tag team to take the titles off MSK. That is the proper way to go about it. MSK called up, and we get MSK versus the Alpha Academy. That's the way to go about it. If they're not going to combine the rosters, then go with that. But if I'm booking this, my first move would be to combine the rosters. But they're not. Rather shocking outcome. Alpha Academy are the new Raw Tag Team Champions. Damian Priest and the Street Profits versus Apollo Crews and the Dirty Dogs. This was a pretty standard 6-man tag. It was pretty decent. It was okay. It was decent, but let's be real. Who cares? Who cares? Wasn't a bad match, but this was really nothing at the end of the day. A nothing match between 6 guys who really should be in better positions than they are, but they're not. So, baby faces were in early control. Priest was lighting up the Dirty Dogs. Street Profits and Priest were in control. Coming back from commercial, Apollo Crews with a military press and a standing moonsault on Ford for a 2. Ziggler tagged in for Ford powerbombed him. We had Dawkins getting the tag. He lit up Rude with some exploder suplexes and a bulldog. We had a nice silencer. A silencer by Mr. Angelo Dawkins for a 2. Aziz distracted him. Montez Ford came in with a huge fucking tope con hero on Cruz and Aziz. Tagged to Ziggler. Ziggler hit the zigzag on Dawkins for the 1, 2, 3. And that was pretty much that. And that was that. Decent match. Who gives a shit? All of these individuals have been booked very, very lukewarm. Seth Rollins came out to address the crowd. He goes on about how he's in a great mood and because he's getting a shot at the Royal Rumble. He says it's all about Roman Reigns versus Seth freaking Rollins. And by the way, why the fuck did they change his name to Seth freaking Rollins? It is unbelievable. It really is. It's unbelievable how stupid and uncool WWE legitimately makes everything. Everything. I don't understand how this made it past creative. I don't understand how WWE does not realize how stupid Seth Rollins looks coming out as Seth freaking Rollins and the announcer announcing him as Seth freaking Rollins. It sounds fucking retarded. I don't understand. Seth freaking Rollins, that catchphrase was actually cool, and WWE killed it. Just like they do everything else. Killed it. And don't even get me started on premium live event. Holy shit. So Rollins says he took matters into his own hands, and a few things in life are certain. Death, taxes, and Seth Rollins beats Roman Reigns every single time. So, from there we go to Big E. Big E came out. He says that this is incredible news, and I'm excited for you. He says he's entering himself into the Royal Rumble, and he can do what he intended to do at day 1, and that is beat you and walk out as world champion. So Rollins laughed. He said, you don't stand a chance. Big E then said, let's test that theory, and let's have a match right now. So Rollins accepted it. He says, you're on, get a damn referee. We get Seth Rollins versus Big E. What is the one thing that I've always said about WWE? When WWE has something that's decent on their show, right? What usually happens? WWE and the aura that is surrounding WWE is so shitty, and they are in such a terrible position right now that shitty aura has pretty much ruined everything on the show. It has ruined Damian Priest and his U.S. title reign. It's ruined Roman Reigns and his title reign. It ruined RK Bro and their title reign. And now it has ruined Seth Rollins and Big E. They put on a great match. Do you realize how much it pained me to see them put on a great match and see how badly the crowd reacted, or the lack of reaction that the crowd had? It is so fucking sad, and it's so fucking pathetic, I'm telling you. It is so fucking pathetic. It really is. WWE does not even know what they have, and I feel bad that Rollins and Big E had to literally put every ounce of effort that they had, and the crowd couldn't give a shit. Why? Because the WWE product fucking sucks. It has nothing to do with Rollins. It has nothing to do with Big E. But at the end of the day, there are just so many shitty things on the roster, and there's so many shitty things in the entire company right now that even if they get one decent thing on the show, they don't care because the damage has already been done. It's going to take a long, long time for WWE to rejuvenate their roster. I don't even think that they're going to rejuvenate the interest in their company. I really don't. A very good match. Not going to go over everything because it's meaningless and the crowd was dead. Seth Rollins wins with a stomp. Probably the best thing on the show, but I feel terrible for them. Rhea Ripley and Nikki Trash came out to address the crowd. The crowd actually booed this segment. I don't even want to go over this segment, but I have to. Queen Zelina and Carmella were challenged by Nikki Ash. Rhea said, well, that's not what we talked about. Sarah asked, is there a problem with this partnership? Has it run its course? Rhea said, let's talk about this right here. Nikki said, we're going to talk about this now. You're thinking about breaking us up? Nikki said, don't worry about the titles. We'll get them back. Ripley goes, it's not about the titles. Nikki goes, do you think did you ever think that I was doing you a favor? Ripley said, I never said I was better in the ring with you. Nikki said I was talking about me. So Nikki right there, I think she's been drinking a little bit of the retard juice because holy shit, Nikki Cross sounded stupid in this promo. So Ripley was getting pissed. Nikki then said, you don't want to do this, fine, but look me in the eye and tell me that you still believe in me. Ripley goes, I have always believed in you, and I hope that we can still be friends. Crowd was booing the shit out of this segment, rightfully so. They didn't give a shit. And this ended with Rhea Ripley and Nikki Trash hugging it out. They hugged it out. And then Nikki Trash, out of nowhere, Nikki Trash attacked Rhea Ripley and laid her out. And then she said, almost superheroes don't need friends. And that was that. This was a complete waste of time. A complete waste of time. And on top of that, I don't understand how this is going to do either woman any good. Rhea Ripley and her babyface run has been fucking destroyed. Rhea Ripley and her babyface run is beyond the point of repair. Rhea Ripley needs a fucking spark. Rhea Ripley needs a fucking spark, and she needs to get shit together and fast. Because right now, Rhea Ripley is a complete and utter waste of time in every sense of the word. There is nothing redeeming about Rhea Ripley. There is nothing that screams, oh my God, I gotta go out and watch Rhea Ripley. She is dead. Dead in the water, and it's all thanks to WWE. That's it. So I don't understand why Rhea Ripley didn't turn heel. And on top of that, unless this is resulting in Nikki Cross making a return, as in the psychotic banshee from NXT of old, which I doubt it, but unless that is the Nikki Cross that we're going to get, this is a complete waste of time. Nikki Cross will never, ever be taken seriously with a superhero or a supervillain gimmick. I don't want to see her coming out next week in all fucking black. Now she's the almost supervillain. No, we don't need that shit. This gimmick should have never been a thing, and anyone that is supporting Nikki Trash or Nikki Cross in that decision, you are just as bad and you are part of the problem with the fucking community. Unless Nikki Cross is going back to the real Nikki Cross, the Nikki Cross of old, who was challenging Asuka in a fucking last one standing match for the NXT Women's Championship all those years ago, unless we're getting that, this is a waste of time. And Rhea Ripley, she is not going to benefit from this at all. Unless Rhea Ripley is going to win the Royal Rumble and challenge Becky Lynch. To be quite honest with you, that's what I would do. Bianca Belair, we don't need Bianca to win another Rumble. She's already dead in the water as it is. Even if she wins the title from Becky at WrestleMania, I don't expect anyone to care. Because Bianca Belair, she was buried at SummerSlam. And then you got Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley, I would absolutely give the Rumble to Rhea Ripley and have her beat Becky for the championship. Or if I was booking this, listen, I fucking hate this woman with every fiber of my being. I wish that this woman would absolutely just retire. Charlotte Flair, I don't want Charlotte Flair to win the Rumble, but if she wins the Rumble and she chooses Becky and we get a unification match and the women's divisions are merged, I would actually be okay with that. Just because of the simple fact that both of these divisions on Raw and SmackDown are dead and shit needs to change. It needs to change immediately. This was a waste of time. Omos, a.k.a. the Great Khali's African-American cousin, Omos. He took on a jobber in pink tights. I believe his name was Nick Sanders. Omos absolutely destroyed him. Who gives a shit? 1 minute. Omos is an embarrassment. Khali bomb for the win. Something tells me that Omos is going to win the Raw. God fucking forbid. God fucking forbid Omos wins the Rumble. God forbid. Edge came out for the cutting edge with Beth Phoenix. Beth Phoenix looked as though she should have been managing the fucking Viking Raiders. So they played a promo package hyping up Beth Phoenix. Beth Phoenix and Edge, they got a little flirtatious with each other. A lot of sexual tension there between Edge and Beth Phoenix. Beth Phoenix still looks very, very young. My God, I mean, Edge did well. Edge did well. So Miz and Maurice came out after Beth Phoenix said that Miz has been spewing verbal diarrhea. This show is verbal eye torture. That's what this show is. You want to talk about verbal diarrhea? Just listen to a fucking conference call with Vince McMahon and Nick Khan. You want to talk about verbal diarrhea? So, Miz and Maurice came out. Miz says that I stand with Bill Simmons, going on about how Bill Simmons doesn't want to play for Philadelphia because Philadelphia is a trash city. All that other shit. Then, they played a clip for Maurice. Beth then told Maurice that she is going to get beaten. Miz was hyping up Maurice, and then the Miz, while he was hyping up Maurice just left. Beth said, if your wife doesn't show up, I'll take great pleasure in knocking your teeth in. This feud, I'm telling you right now, I don't know why the fuck this didn't end at day one. I don't know why we're getting this match. This match is actually going to make the Royal Rumble worse than it really should be. You couldn't have saved this match for an Alpha Academy versus RK Bro. You couldn't have given him more than 9 minutes. What about a Damian Priest versus a Finn Balor for the United States Championship? You couldn't have put that on the show in place of this waste of a mixed tag team match? You want a mixed tag team match? Watch Dynamite this Wednesday with Orange Cassidy, Chris Statlander, Britt Baker, and Adam Cole. That match is going to show everyone what Miz, Maurice, Beth Phoenix, and Edge should be, but it will never be. That right there is going to be a true mixed tag team match. And you know what I'm going to tweet out after that match is over? Beth Phoenix, Edge, Miz, and Maurice could never do what Orange Cassidy, Chris Statlander, Britt Baker, and Adam Cole just did. That's what I'm going to tweet out. Austin Theory versus AJ Styles. This ended in a DQ because Grayson Waller attacked AJ Styles. That was that. And listen, I love Grayson. I think Grayson Waller is doing some pretty good work on NXT UK. Not NXT UK, NXT 2.0. And I'm going to be quite honest with you. His match with Styles was probably the best thing on this week's NXT. I'm not even bullshitting you. He did very, very, very well. He really did. He did very well. But seriously, no one gives a shit. No one watches NXT. They killed it. No one watches NXT. It's the least important of all the 3 shows. It's probably the best out of the 3 shows, but they can barely peak a 600,000 rating. Let's be real here. No disrespect to Grayson Waller, but Styles deserves better. Alexa Bliss was in a therapist's office. She was being treated for her journey back to Monday Night Raw. I would much rather see Alexa Bliss's journey towards the unemployment line because she's a waste of time. You fire Deonna Purrazzo. You fire fucking Sarah Logan and Ruby Riott. You let Toni Storm walk. You fire... Holy shit. Telling you. Shit like that, man, just pisses me the fuck off. She's being treated. She still has the Fiend gimmick. They showed a video of Lily the doll being destroyed. She poured water all over the floor. She started trashing the office. Listen, unless this leads to Alexa Bliss going back to the goddess Alexa Bliss. Now, any version of Alexa Bliss fucking blows dick, just like her. Wink, wink. Every version of Alexa Bliss is terrible, but, I mean, if this means that Alexa's going to go back to the old gimmick, the goddess Alexa Bliss, then you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it. This better not fucking result in Alexa winning the Rumble, because Alexa winning the Rumble, that would be no fucking better. No fucking better than fucking Billie Kay winning the Rumble. I really don't understand the infatuation with Alexa Bliss. Most of these people are 15-year-old girls who haven't accomplished a damn thing in life, so they look at Alexa Bliss, who has done the bare minimum amount of work, and she's only pushed because of her looks. Or they're thirsty guys who have absolutely no life, that drool and more over Alexa Bliss and pictures of Alexa Bliss late at night. Alexa Bliss sucks. Main event, Liv Morgan, Doudrop, and Bianca Belair. Winner faces Becky at the Rumble. Listen, I'm not going to discredit the women in the ring. I think that these 3 women did what they needed to do. They put on a fairly decent match, but holy shit, this women's division is fucking atrocious. I cannot fucking stand it. I can't. Find it so funny how people want to shit on the AEW women's division every chance that they get. But whenever WWE embarrasses women's wrestling, especially this past Friday on SmackDown yesterday, we had a match that literally lasted 3 seconds. 3 seconds of women's wrestling on SmackDown, but yet people want to complain over fucking AEW just because of the fact that women haven't main evented a fucking pay-per-view yet. Oh, we need an all-women's pay-per-view. Who's that fucking idiot? Ella something, Bella something, I don't know. That fucking bimbo that was saying all the way back at Full Gear, oh my God, Tony Khan should do an all-women's pay-per-view. They're not there yet. Patience. Patience, people. Telling you. Anyway. The match itself was okay. I've seen much worse. So Becky came out to soak in the crowd reaction. She hyped up the match, and then she sat right on commentary. Becky Lynch is an absolute cancer to my ears whenever she takes the microphone. So we get the match. Doudrop had a couple of moments of power. Liv Morgan then used Doudrop as an aid for a Frankensteiner, which looked nice. Bianca then with a spear to Doudrop, or Doudrop, whatever you want to call her. Morgan then with a Rings of Saturn. Bianca powered out of it. Morgan with a Codebreaker on Doudrop. She sent Belair into the buckle. Doudrop then powerbombed Liv. She covered Liv. Bianca with a 450 to break up the pinfall, which looked very good. Becky sounded fucking terrible as usual on commentary. Belair slammed Morgan into Doudrop. springboard moonsault, and a KOD. Becky broke up the pin. Bianca chased Becky, and Bianca was then sent over the table in the ring. Doudrop with a Banzai drop, and Doudrop wins. I don't know what the fuck that ending was. I'm not sure why they decided to go with Doudrop, but more likely than not, the WrestleMania match is going to be Bianca Belair and Becky, and Bianca Belair could very well take the title off of Becky if things work out well. I don't know. We'll see. But I don't have any fucking faith that they're actually going to build up Bianca Belair enough to redeem what happened to her at SummerSlam. I don't know why we have Becky and Doudrop. I don't understand how anyone is supposed to care about this because A, they're both heels. 2, Becky Lynch is doing some of the worst work of her entire career. And 3, that name that Piper Niven has is a fucking career killer. I'm not sure what the fuck happened to Piper Niven. We had WWE trademarking that name not that long ago, so I'm not sure why she's still being called Doudrop, especially since Eva Marie was fired 2 months ago. I don't fucking understand. I really don't. It's fucking stupid, I'm telling you. Those 3 reasons. They're 2 heels, Becky's heel work is horrendous, and no one cares about Piper Niven based off of that name alone. That name absolutely killed her fucking career. And Monday Night Raw sucked elephant cock. We still got a lot of people in this chat. Thank you to Earl Cole, Hula Grim, DD, and DJ Sums. Let's see if we can get a couple more people in this chat. How many likes we got? We got exactly 16 likes. Let's see if we can get to at least 20. All right? 20 likes is the goal here. Share it out on all platforms of social media. Get as many people in here as possible. And we will get to the NXT review right now. We got NXT 2.0, and it wasn't great. It wasn't horrible. It was a very lukewarm show. We had a couple of decent things on NXT. Still, NXT, I prefer NXT over Raw and SmackDown any day of the week, but very lukewarm show. Very lackluster show. I'd probably say this was probably, out of the 3 WWE shows, this was probably the best WWE show of the week. But out of all the shows, I'd probably say this was probably either the 3rd or 4th best show of the week out of the 6 shows. Which is not saying much, but it is what it is. I can't stand NXT 2.0, really. I'm probably not going to cover it next week. I'm not covering it next week, even if it has the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Oh, who knows? Maybe I will. Only because of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. We'll see there. Very lukewarm episode of NXT. Not very exciting at all, outside of a couple of matches. Samantha Irving introduced Braun Breaker. Breaker took the mic. He said, "Tommaso Ciampa, I want to say thank you. He's a great performer, but most importantly, he's an outstanding human being. He paid respects to my father, who was watching me live for the first time ever." So I like that Braun Breaker paid his respects to Tommaso Ciampa. Very professional by Braun Breaker. He goes, "I know I have big shoes to fill, so anyone back there that wants to challenge me, every day you want to train, I've already trained. Every day you want to come and watch the tape, I've already watched. Every single time you want to leave early, I'm staying because I'm the freaking NXT champion. I will prove it each and every week." Short, simple, sweet, and effective. I think Braun Breaker is going to be a pretty decent NXT champion. And if I'm going to be quite honest with you, I would not be surprised if Braun Breaker is on the main roster after SummerSlam. Santos Escobar actually came out. And he interrupted Braun Breaker. We had a little face-off. So, I mean, if we get Santos Escobar versus Braun Breaker, take my fucking money right there. We got, Jenna Lee's Beauty Slam. Haven't seen you in quite some time. How you doing? Hope that you're doing well. So we get Santos Escobar versus Zion Quinn. And the match wasn't terrible. Match wasn't bad between Santos Escobar and Zion Quinn. But if I'm going to be quite honest with you, this love angle with Elektra Lopez and Zion Quinn, it's a waste of fucking time. It really is. It's a waste of time. I don't give a shit. I'm not sure who gives a shit. Zion Quinn isn't all there yet. He still needs some work. And this love storyline's not fucking helping him at all. When he did karaoke with Robert Stone, that was it. That was the end. That was completely the end. So Santos Escobar and Zion Quinn, not a terrible match. It ended with Elektra Lopez. She was being very flirtatious with Zion Quinn. The ref was distracted. She low-blowed Zion Quinn, and Escobar hit the Phantom Driver for the win. Escobar has been on a few match winning streak as of lately. If I'm booking this, I'd absolutely give Santos Escobar a few more wins, and then we get Escobar versus Braun Breaker. I think that would be an awesome fucking match. Damon Kempt versus Cameron Grimes. Good to see Cameron Grimes back on NXT television. Cameron Grimes is awesome at what he does. So, Cameron Grimes ended up winning this. Malcolm Bivens came out to watch what Cameron Grimes was doing. We ended up seeing Cameron Grimes deliver a very sloppy-looking cave-in. It did not look very good. Very sloppy-looking cave-in. Kempt was clearly out of place there, but it ended with Cameron Grimes winning as he should. Cameron Grimes has been on a winning streak as of lately. I would not mind seeing Cameron Grimes challenge Carmelo Hayes for the North American Championship. And if I'm booking this, I'm giving the championship to Cameron Grimes. I would actually have Styles, who actually had a face-off with Carmelo Hayes later on in the show. I would have Styles face off against Carmelo Hayes first. He puts over Carmelo Hayes. That's a superstar that could benefit from beating AJ Styles. I would have Carmelo Hayes successfully defend the title against Styles, and then we get Carmelo Hayes versus Cameron Grimes. That would be good. But Cameron Grimes, I would absolutely love to see him as the North American champion sooner rather than later. Joe Gacy and Harland, they took on Idris Enofe and Malik Blake. Let me tell you something. I gotta say, Idris Enofe and Malik Blake, they actually look very, very good together. I mean, I think that they could be a very solid tag team if they want to push them as a tag team. And considering they're in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, I would go all in. They're a new tag team. Come up with a tag team name, give them more tryout matches, get them more familiar with each other. And I think that this could be a great tag team, a nice babyface tag team. Also, Idris Enofe, he's in great fucking shape. I would love to be in that fucking shape. Yo, Idris Enofe, can you hit me up on Twitter and tell me your workout techniques? I would love to know, because I want me an 8-pack. I got nothing. I got an 8-pack of fucking pudding cups. Come on. So, Malik Blake and Idris Enofe, they were actually going back and forth. They had some nice double team offense, but it ultimately ended with Harlan coming in and absolutely destroying everyone, and we ended up seeing Harlan being disqualified. Now, normally I would shit on this, but I'm actually not going to shit on this, only because of the fact that this kind of fits into the character, and Harlan was going to go after the referee, and Joe Gacy's like, no, relax. But he's saying to relax with this maniacal smile. It's like a maniacal, devilish-like smile, as if he's getting ready to, as if he's plotting the murder of a fucking government official. It's great. It's legitimately fucking great. And I absolutely love it. I really do. The vibe between Joe Gacy and Harlan, I'm not sure what it is, but it's almost like a very dark take on what's going on in the world today. Like I see Joe Gacy with the devil smile, and I see Harlan just standing there as if he's ready to fucking murder someone. He's looking like a serial killer. This partnership, holy shit, it's really working out good. And whoever takes those titles off of Imperium, they got Joe Gacy and Harlan to worry about. Joe Gacy and Harlan are going to be tag team champions. Absolutely. And by the way, Jenna, a.k.a. Jenna Lee's Beauty Slam, I hope that you have a wonderful day at work today whenever you go in. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you for hitting that like button. Keep on hitting the like button. Make sure you share it out on social media as well. Share it out on Twitter. This match was pretty damn good. A little bit of a shitty stipulation, but it was a pretty damn good match. Tony D'Angelo, Tony D, everybody loves them some Tony D. Where's the freaking Gabagool? Tony D versus the bruiserweight Pete Dunne in a crowbar on a pole match. Not to be confused with Crowbar, who is the creator of Wrestlemania, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be seeing him rather soon this year. So, both men went back and forth. Nice little back and forth. Tony D'Angelo hit a nice falcon arrow. A nice falcon arrow, right? So, coming back from commercial, Dunne trying to mount the comeback with a nice cross-jacket neck breaker. Dunne went for the crowbar, but Tony stopped him. Tony D'Angelo then got the crowbar. Dunne dodged the strikes. Dunne then took the crowbar. D'Angelo got out of dodge. Tony with a back suplex on the apron. D'Angelo then choked out Dunne with the crowbar. The only thing I hated about this match is the fact that the crowbar was the only legal weapon. It looked fucking stupid. It really is. It really did. If it's no DQ, just let them use any fucking weapons. Why does it only need to be the fucking crowbar? That was the only thing I hated about this match. Only thing I hated about the match. So, we had a neck breaker by D'Angelo with the crowbar. Dunne kicked out. D'Angelo then stomped on the hand with the crowbar. Dunne then with some nasty kicks. A great flurry by Dunne. Dunne then with an STF with the crowbar. Tony D'Angelo then jerked the crowbar into Dunne's eye. Dunne then had D'Angelo in a triangle choke. D'Angelo got to the ropes. Dunne was then sent into the post head first, and D'Angelo hit Dunne with the crowbar in the face and got the win 1-2-3. Tony D'Angelo gets the biggest win of his career. I had a feeling that he was going to be the right winner. And I'm not sure about you guys, but considering that Tommaso Ciampa and Pete Dunne have been making some appearances on Main Event, I have a bad feeling that Dunne's going to be on the cut list. I really do. I have a feeling that Dunne is going to be on the cut list. I don't want him to be, but I have a feeling he is. We had Indy Hartwell, Persia Pirotta, and Wendy Chu versus Casey Catanzaro, Caden Carter, and Amare Miller. Wendy Chu was legitimately sleeping on the apron. She was wrestling in her pajamas. She looked fucking stupid, and then we actually find out that she could actually fucking wrestle. She was doing clothesline. She did a nice belly to belly. Wendy Chu was doing legitimate wrestling moves in the match, and she could actually wrestle. So, Indy Hartwell ended up winning the match for her team with a springboard elbow. I am thoroughly convinced, I really am, I'm thoroughly convinced that Wendy Chu is nothing more than a shoot version of Orange Cassidy. She's lazy, she's very nonchalant, and then when she gets in the ring, she actually wrestles like Orange Cassidy. I'm thoroughly convinced that Wendy Chu is literally a carbon copy of Orange Cassidy. And it goes to show you how uncreative WWE really is, that they can't even come up with their own fucking characters. The only original character on NXT is Tony D'Angelo. I love Braun Breaker, I love Grayson Waller, and I love Carmelo Hayes. I love all those guys. But let's be real. Braun Breaker's character is, he's a Steiner. That's his character. Carmelo Hayes, he's a cocky playboy. Grayson Waller, he's a pretty boy prick. These are all characters that have already been played. The only original character is Tony D'Angelo. But now WWE is really showing you how desperate they are. They're copying Orange Cassidy's character, changing it a little bit, and then having Wendy Chu portray it on television. The women's division in NXT, holy shit, it is not good at all. So, we went from that into a match between Solo Sikoa who I'm actually a fan of. I like me some Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa and Boa. This was actually turning into a pretty decent match before, obviously, it ended in a double countout. Both men were actually bleeding, so they were delivering some stiff fucking strikes in this match, which I had no issue with. So then, the brawl continued into the back, right? Brawl continued into the back. They were throwing each other into steel pipes and platforms and fucking trash cans and crates. It was a pretty decent brawl, and then all of a sudden, Boa sprayed mist into Solo Sikoa's eyes, and he became the Mei Ying character. So now the character was transferred from Wendy Chu, which she was originally Mei Ying, Tian Sha, and now she got transferred over to Boa. And that was pretty much that. Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams came out to address the crowd. Trick was hyping up Melo. I actually like the dynamic between Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes. I'm not sure about you guys, but I like the dynamic. I think that Trick Williams, he carries himself fairly well on the microphone. I really think he's underrated on the microphone. I think that he's probably one of the standouts on the microphone when it comes to promos in NXT. So he goes, Trick and Melo go together like PB and J, like Trick Williams and big booty women. That's exactly what Trick Williams said. To be quite honest with you, I gotta agree with Trick Williams. I mean, who doesn't like big booty women? I gotta agree with Trick Williams. So Melo hyped himself up. He said, I am the walking cheat code. I am the most scintillating champion in NXT. This is the A champion, and you can step up or get stepped on. That's all it is, and that's all it's ever gonna be. Pretty decent promo by Carmelo Hayes. I'm slowly warming up to the promo ability and the back and forth between Melo and Trick Williams. Styles actually interrupted the promo, and we get a rather interesting face-off between Styles and Carmelo Hayes. I mean, Styles and Carmelo Hayes, give them 15, 20 minutes, take my fucking money. That right there is a big money fucking match waiting to happen. Hell, that could very well be one of the best matches of the year if they want it to be. That's a great fucking match, if you ask me. The Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic for the men begins next week. And then in the main event, we got Styles, AJ Styles versus Grayson Waller. I'm not going to lie, this was actually a great match. Probably the best Grayson Waller match that I've ever seen thus far. This was the match of Grayson Waller's career thus far, and this was the best AJ Styles match that I have seen in quite some time. This was probably the best AJ Styles match that I've seen since the Bryan Danielson AJ Styles match, all the way back when they were operating in the Performance Center. All the way back in, was it June of 2020? In the dead middle of the pandemic. That was the last AJ Styles match that I was really like, wow, this is a fucking classic. This wasn't really a classic, but it was still a great match. So, Waller took advantage. Very nice neck breaker on the ropes. Then we had a baseball slide into a clothesline. Coming back from a commercial, Styles with the phenomenal blitz. We had a nice sliding forearm and a stinger splash Ushi-Goroshi combo by AJ Styles. That got a 2 count. Styles then with a slingshot phenomenal forearm on the floor. Waller came back with a rolling elbow and a middle rope elbow drop, which looked very nice. That got a 2 count. Styles then locked in the calf crusher. Waller then got to the ropes. Waller then with a fireman's carry spine buster. That got a 2. Waller then dodged the phenomenal forearm, and he hit a beautiful, this was beautiful right here, a beautiful roll-through stunner, and he got a damn near 3 count. Very, very close count right there. Awesome near fall right there. After that, Styles then with a Pele kick, a spike brainbuster, which looked brutal, and then Styles eventually hit the phenomenal forearm, and he wins. A great match. Great match to end NXT. Jenna, thank you very much for stopping by. We all love you. And I hope that you have a great day at work. Text me later whenever you want. Now, after the match, which was great, probably the best thing on the show, Styles then, he took the mic and he said, "You're good, kid, but you're not phenomenal. And I'd like you to meet a friend of mine, LA Knight." He returned to NXT. He's been away for a month. LA Knight is back. And he's over. LA Knight is over. It's great to see. LA Knight is a great fucking individual. And you know what? I'm actually not minding him as a babyface. He's a better heel, but I'm not minding him as a babyface. I'm really not. I really don't mind him as a babyface, only because of the fact that if he's serious and he doesn't really do too much crowd pandering, I think that he could be a pretty solid babyface. Not even going to lie. So LA Knight, he laid out Grayson Waller. He had a lariat, and he stood tall. Crowd was loving it. So, I really, outside of the crowbar on a pole match and the AJ Styles Grayson Waller main event, really nothing special. Really not a must-see show. It wasn't overly horrible. I've seen plenty of worse shows. This wasn't Monday Night Raw levels of bad, but it really wasn't all that exciting. It was just kind of an episode of NXT that was there, pretty much. Thank you all for stopping by the channel. We got 4 more shows to review. Earl Cole, Hula Grim, Peanuts, Jenna, and Dee Dee, and Danielle Wolf. Thank you all for joining. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. We got 14 people watching. Man, one of the most watched LFU shows in a long, long time. And we got 19 likes. I'm looking at the chat. I see 19 likes. So please share out the stream on all platforms, social media. We are damn close to 20 likes. Let us get to 20, maybe even 30 likes. Let's get as many views and as many likes as we possibly can. Keep on getting those people in here. Keep on getting the likes. Keep on getting the views. You already know the drill. We're going to jump into the best show of the week, which is AEW Dynamite. Of course it is. Yes, Lisa, I know Dynamite's your favorite show to cover because at the end of the day, Dynamite has MJF. Dynamite has MJF, and we all know your fascination with MJF. But anyway, we got Adam Cole, a baby. Adam Cole, baby. He kicked off the show. He came out with Red Dragon. They are not officially named the Paragon, but I assume that they will be. I think it's a great name. So Adam Cole, baby, took the mic. He goes, "Who's ready for story time with Adam Cole, baby?" He goes, 2022 will be a great year. I've not been pinned, and I'm undefeated in singles competition. The boys are back together, and boys and girls, it's a new era. Wink, wink. In WWE, or not WWE, AEW. I wish it was a new era in WWE, but it's a new era in AEW. The Bucks and Brandon Cutler, or as Kyle O'Reilly says, Landon Cutler. He goes, "We figured we'd come out, and thanks for the invite," said Matt Jackson very sarcastically. O'Reilly said, "Nobody invited you to Jacksonville either." Matt said, "This is our company, and we are the longest reigning tag team champions in company history, and we are going to get our belts back." So O'Reilly said, "We have the same New Year's resolution." Cole then encouraged this quote-unquote friendly competition, and then all of a sudden the best friends came out. Cole said, "Cut that stupid music off," which I laughed at. He goes, "What could you possibly say that's of any importance?" So Cassidy attacked Cole. We get a big brawl. Chris Statlander got in Adam Cole's face, and this was great. Britt Baker came out. She had a curb stomp to Statlander, and then Cole super kicked Cassidy, and he hit the boom. And then the heels stood tall, and Baker planted a nice kiss on Adam Cole's lips. So, Adam Cole's a lucky guy. He gets to make out with Britt Baker on live television. I guess everybody's gonna wish that Everyone's going to wish that they're Adam Cole. Everyone's going to wish that they're Adam Cole. So, after that, which was a very good segment, really interesting segment, we had the Red Dragon and we got the Young Bucks having a lot of tension between them. And you know for a fact that we're going to get Red Dragon versus the Young Bucks, and we're also going to get the Paragon, formerly known as the Undisputed Era, or the Paragon now, the Paragon versus Kenny Omega and the Bucks. That's definitely going to happen. And if things work out well, that could very well happen at Double or Nothing. And I'm going to love it. I really am. I'm going to fucking love it. We go into Wardlow versus CM Punk. And I don't really know why. This is getting a lot of complaints. I really don't know why this has been a problem amongst a lot of people. I really don't know. Why we are in a position in which we are praising WWE here and there, but we're shitting on AEW because of this shit. Let me tell you something. The story here is quite apparent. And there's absolutely no reason to complain about this because in the end, it all worked out in their favor, and Wardlow is not ruined. He's also more over. This entire feud is at least 3 or 4 moving parts that is going to result in multiple big things down the road. Number 1, it's the storyline with Punk and MJF. Number 2, the storyline to turn Wardlow babyface and get him over, which they have. They pretty much have. We're just waiting for the turn on MJF. And 3, to get MJF to the World Championship. The first and foremost motive behind this was to enhance the storyline between Punk and MJF because MJF should be the man to end Punk's undefeated streak. Wardlow is going to lose. I don't care how people are going to try and word this. You need to get this out of your head. Wardlow was never going to win, and he's not buried by taking this loss. They booked this. What's going on over here? There we go. Little bit of a technical difficulty right there. I'm not sure what's going on with my fucking Wi-Fi. I swear to God, I gotta get some different fucking Wi-Fi. I'm telling you. But MJF and Wardlow. The main story right here is Punk and MJF and their storyline that's leading into Revolution. So, what we are going to see is this. Punk is inevitably going to take that loss to MJF. MJF is going to move on to the World Championship. Wardlow is going to be waiting in the wings to turn babyface. And what we have here is Wardlow. What is going on over here? There we go. I don't even know what's fucking going on. I really don't fucking know what's going on with my connection right here. I'm actually pissed off that we're having some technical difficulties right there, especially when it says that my connection is perfectly fine. Swear to fucking God, I fucking hate technology sometimes. I apologize. But what we got here with Wardlow and Punk. So Wardlow is obviously using his power against Punk. Crowd was chanting Punk. Punk then flipped off MJF as he was trying to mount the comeback. Wardlow, then he began the Powerbomb Symphony. Right? He began the Powerbomb Symphony, one after the other. Wardlow covered, but MJF stopped him. And MJF is like, no, I want more. One more Powerbomb. So Wardlow did as he said. MJF said, no, Do it again. Do it again. 7 power bombs. MJF was then telling Wardlow, no, I want another one. So then we get MJF clearing out the table. MJF Wardlow power bombs Punk as per MJF's orders through the table. Aubrey began the count. Punk just got back to the ring. MJF told Wardlow, no, that's not enough. Do it again. He was just thirsty for the blood of CM Punk. And Wardlow was distracted by MJF. MJF inadvertently cost Wardlow the match. Punk wins, and afterwards, MJF was getting in Wardlow's face. He's going, you never win the big one. He was poking Wardlow, and then all of a sudden, Wardlow grabs MJF's hand, starts turning it. The crowd's getting hyped up. Wardlow is turning MJF's finger. All of a sudden, Shawn Spears comes out, and he shuts down Wardlow. He calms Wardlow down. And Wardlow walks away. I don't understand why people are complaining about this, because at the end of the day, Wardlow was going to lose. So what did you do? They made Wardlow look like a complete fucking monster in defeat, and he lost because MJF distracted Wardlow and wanted Wardlow to beat the shit out of Punk just so he doesn't have to face CM Punk. It's an old school heel move. It is perfect. It's perfect. If you're complaining about this, you really don't know wrestling and you don't know long-term booking. Wardlow is not going to be a face of the company man yet. He is going to be a secondary man after MJF is done with his position. And when Wardlow breaks away from MJF at the right time, people are going to pop big, and he's going to go on a nice babyface run, which could very well result in him becoming a champion sooner rather than later. This was a brilliantly booked angle and brilliant heel work by MJF, and it's getting Wardlow over. How are people going to say that this buried Wardlow and this was terribly booked if Wardlow was getting chants last night on Rampage during a Shawn Spears promo and he was just standing there? He didn't say a fucking word. Very well booked match. If people are complaining about this, they really don't know professional wrestling. We go from that into Powerhouse Hobbs versus Dante Martin. This is a very fun match right here between Hobbs and Martin. So the brawl started immediately. Dante used his quickness. Dante with a dive. Hobbs then caught him with a nice spine buster on the floor. Hobbs then was ragdolling Martin around. Dante got hit with a crossbody by Hobbs. Dante was then whipped over the rope. He took a nasty fucking bump. So coming back from commercial, Martin came back with a slingshot drop kick. A big missile drop kick. That got a 2 count. We had a twisting tornillo plancha taking out big Powerhouse Hobbs. Hobbs then just bulldozed over Martin. Huge body block. All of a sudden, Jay Lethal came out, and he took out Ricky Starks. Martin hit the double jump moonsault, which he calls the nosedive, and he got the quick pin on Powerhouse Hobbs, which was very, very, very surprising. I thought that Hobbs was going to take this, but we ended up seeing Dante Martin get the win. I'm certainly not complaining because Dante Martin, he has been doing some really good work as of lately. So if Dante Martin goes on to face Cody for the TNT title, I certainly wouldn't mind that. I think that Dante Martin is really, really, really coming into his own in his brother Darius's absence. And I would absolutely love to see Dante Martin versus Cody. I think that would be a great match. So after that was actually probably the best match of the night. So after that, Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho, they had a nice back and forth in the back. So I think that we could be getting Eddie Kingston versus Chris Jericho at AEW Revolution. Kingston could be in for a big win in his AEW career right there. So MJF interrupted the show. He called himself the only real star on the show. He talked to Punk, and he said that he got powerbombed into oblivion. but you ain't winning next week. I'm going to give you the match we've been waiting for. CM Punk versus Shawn Spears. I'm excited about that match. I don't know about you, but I'm excited about that match. Shawn Spears is a very good pro wrestler, so that's going to be a damn good match. That's going to be a really good match right there. I'm pretty sure that while this promo was going on, Lisa was glued to her television screen. She had a hard time containing herself. I think that she was getting soaked, for lack of a better term. But anyway. Oh, don't worry. We'll give Lisa some more shit later on when we go to Rampage. Adam Page. He came out to address the crowd. He was very, very happy. He took the mic and he goes, "These past 2 months, I've spent 90 minutes in the ring with one of the best in the world, and I've spilled enough blood to float a battleship, all for this, the AEW World Championship, and it's still mine, damn it." He goes on and says 90 minutes is not enough. The Hangman needs a new challenger. All of a sudden, Dan Lambert interrupted. He was hyping himself up. Page called, or Lambert called out Page and Sky. Or Page called out Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, excuse me. Lambert said, "I'm here to compliment you because you didn't take the Cody Rhodes path and kiss ass. You earned everything except this persona that you are portraying as a gimmick. Stop disrespecting the legacies of the Dick Murdochs and the Blackjack Mulligans of old. You're full of cowboy shit." Page says, "So turning down a 6-figure contract to start a new company and become the world champion isn't cowboy shit?" So obviously Dan Lambert was really getting booed, and he was getting his ass handed to him by Page. All of a sudden, Lance Archer returned. He came out. He grabbed Lambert. He's like, "I'm going to knock you out. I'm going to knock you out." And Lambert's going, "You're in the ring with the world champion. Don't pass up this opportunity." And sure enough, Lance Archer didn't. Lance Archer decked Adam Page with a clothesline. He attacked Page, and he gave Page a blackout on a steel chair. Crowd booed. Very nice segment. I love what they're doing with Lance Archer. Great that he's a heel. Love what they're doing with Adam Page. Adam Page has got a lot going on. He's got a lot going on. He could potentially have Men of the Year in his sights. I would not mind a match with Adam Page and Scorpio Sky, and that's a very, very, very good match and a good story to tell. Sky and Adam Page. If you remember, Scorpio Sky was one half of the first ever AEW World Tag Team Champions, and it was Page that got the pinfall victory in that tag team match at Chris Jericho's Rockin' Rager at Sea, which saw Omega and Page winning the titles from SCU, so they could tell that story with Page wanting to defend the championship and Sky wanting to get revenge on Page. That's a great story to tell right there. Then we got Archer, and Adam Cole is number 1 ranked. We could see Cole and Adam Page at Revolution. I think that that's probably the best match that they could do. But Lance Archer, when does this match happen? I'm going on record and I'm going to tell you that I do not believe that this match happens at any time between now and Revolution. This match is not happening between now and March. This match is going to happen in April. And why I say in April, Lance Archer can't just come back and he gets placed in a championship match. That's not how this works. You can't just place Lance Archer in a title match after he's done absolutely nothing to earn it. Can't do that. So at the end of the day, Lance Archer's going to have to get some wins. He's going to have to get some wins behind him because that's how AEW works. So in the meantime, they're reminding everyone that Lance Archer's waiting in the wings and he's going to fight Adam Page. I would do Adam Page versus Scorpio Sky for the World Championship before Revolution. Give Page another title defense against Sky and tell that story. Revolution, the best match that you could do for the World Championship is Adam Cole versus Adam Page. Have Page win, and you can move Cole on to the storyline between the Bucks and Red Dragon with Omega coming back. Revolution, the best match that you could do. Cole and Page. After Revolution, we get the second Battle of the Belts for the year. Battle of the Belts Part 2 for the year in April on Saturday. The best match that you could do for that show would be Lance Archer and Adam Page. I know for a fact that Tony Khan, he knows that that show was very poorly built. That show was very poorly built because of the Dynamite debut on TBS. So if we're going to be real here, the best thing to do would be to make sure that show is a must-see show. Page and Lance Archer for the AEW World Title headlining that show would be the best route that they could go. You could put that on the show and a World Tag Team title match. You give both of those matches 20 minutes. Great two-match show. Simple as that. That is the best route that you can go. Page and Archer in April at the second annual battle, or the second quarterly Battle of the Belts show for the year. That's the best thing that you can do. Best thing that you can do. It will be 2 hours. It's going to be 2 hours, but it's not the time yet. It's going to be 2 hours in a year. I feel as though now it's just an experimental phrase. Or phase. I said phrase. An experimental phase for Battle of the Belts. And we could very well see Battle of the Belts Part 2 with Lance Archer and Adam Page. You want to build those shows up to be big? That is the perfect match to main event the show. And then you could put Jurassic Express versus a heel team on the show. Maybe Jade Cargill defends the TBS championship. Who knows? But Adam Page and Lance Archer would be a perfect Battle of the Belts show, or Battle of the Belts match to main event that show. And then we move on to Page and MJF at Double or Nothing in May. That's when I think the Lance Archer Adam Page match takes place. Battle of the Belts. Hikaru Shida versus Serena Deeb. Serena Deeb attacked Shida right out of the gate. Shida obviously did not want to forfeit the match. She wanted to continue. So we ended up getting the match. The match went 2 minutes. The referee stopped the match because he was looking out for Hikaru Shida's safety. Shida was pissed, but she clearly couldn't continue because her leg was being fucking destroyed. Afterwards, Serena Deeb took the kendo stick and just beat Hikaru Shida's leg, and Hikaru Shida actually returned to Japan, so this was an injury angle to send Shida home for the time being. And I don't know what you guys think, but holy shit, this was awesome. This was awesome. Serena Deeb, heel Serena Deeb is fucking great. Heel Serena Deeb is fucking fantastic, and I do not know how you did not. I really don't. I don't know how you did not give Serena Deeb the TBS championship. I mean, to a certain extent, I get it, because at the end of the day, Serena Deeb is going to be Thunder Rosa's first opponent after Thunder Rosa beats Britt Baker at Revolution. So in a sense, I get it. But at the same point in time, with the work that she's doing, I don't know how you couldn't give her the TBS championship. But Jade Cargill's the TBS champion. Serena Deeb, I have a feeling that she's going to be Thunder Rosa's first opponent, and that's a very nice story to tell. And it's so funny how well Tony Khan has planned all of this out, with Serena Deeb being the first challenger for Thunder Rosa after Thunder Rosa beats Britt Baker. And it goes back to the NWA women's title match between Deeb and Rosa on Dynamite, in which Britt Baker attacked Thunder Rosa to kick off that feud. That was great. That was awesome. And then afterwards, what would be great is if we see the finals of the women's Owen Hart Cup tournament be Shida and Deeb. That would be a perfect end for their feud. Awesome. But heel Serena Deeb, my God, I fucking love heel Serena Deeb. Awesome stuff by Serena Deeb. Matt Hardy versus Penta El Cerro Miedo. This was a decent match. Really nothing. It was a decent match, but this was nothing more than a setup match for what was to come after the match, which was the big talking point, which we'll get to. But this wasn't a bad match, and it was pretty much a match to get Penta the win and to further the storyline between Malachi Black, Varsity Blondes, and the Death Triangle. So Matt Hardy took over, hit a side effect on the apron for a 2. Penta was then sent to the floor. We had a moonsault by Hardy, but he missed it. Penta then was able to hit the fear factor, and Penta wins. Decent match, but it really meant nothing. Afterwards, Alex Abrahantes says, Malachi Black, Penta says he's going to show you some respect. The lights went out, and Malachi Black was standing there. So what do we get? We get Black attacking Alex Abrahantes, and he goes after Penta. Then we see the Varsity Blondes attack. Julia Hart was actually on the apron, and she was saying that's enough. So now I believe that Julia Hart's going to turn. Julia Hart is going to turn, and we are going to get Julia Hart joining Malachi Black and Brody King, who, by the way, Brody King made his debut, and he appeared in the ring after the lights went out, and he absolutely fucking destroyed the Varsity Blondes and Penta. And next week, we get the Varsity Blondes versus the House of Black. Awesome. Fucking awesome stuff right here. And I don't know about you guys, but I think that we may very have the next AEW World Tag Team Champions right there. I don't know about you, but I do believe that Malachi Black and Brody King will be the team to beat Jurassic Express. And I think that's going to be at Double or Nothing. We will see Jurassic Express lose the titles to none other than the House of Black. And I think it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. Excellent stuff right there. A decent match, but really it was nothing more than a setup match. I'm actually very interested in seeing Black and Penta. That right there, that's my fucking match. That's my fucking match right there. So then we get the Acclaimed versus Bear Country. A nothing match. A nothing match. This was done merely to enhance the Acclaimed, obviously, because they're the number one team. I don't know about you guys, but next week's match, we got the Acclaimed versus Sting and Darby. I don't know about you guys, but I could absolutely see the Acclaimed winning via interference from Andrade, because Andrade, he is embroiled in an angle with Sting and Darby. So at the end of it, I can see the Acclaimed giving Sting and Darby their first loss, and we could very well get Sting and Darby taking the L, the Acclaimed winning, and that could propel the Acclaimed to Jurassic Express to fight Jurassic Express for the tag team titles. I would not be surprised if the Acclaimed won next week. Matter of fact, I would have them win next week, because hell, how do you earn a tag team title match? You beat Sting and Darby. That's a big fucking team to beat, and that's a big fucking win for the Acclaimed. I would have the Acclaimed win, and the Acclaimed, they can go and fight Jurassic Express next month for the tag team titles. I don't know about you. I think that would be awesome. That would be great. Rampage looked like a very good show, and it was a very good show. We'll talk about Rampage later, but Rampage, we had Trent Beretta versus Adam Cole, Shawn Spears versus Andrew Everett, Chris Statlander, Layla Hirsch, and Red Velvet versus Nyla Rose, Penelope Ford, and the Bunny. And then we had Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus taking on John Silver and Alex Reynolds for the AEW World Tag Team titles. Next week, like I said, we got House of Black and Varsity Blondes, Serena Deeb versus Sky Blue, CM Punk versus Shawn Spears, Sting and Darby versus the Acclaimed, and Adam Cole and Britt Baker versus Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander. All next week. And then in the main event, we had a good match. It was a good match. It wasn't overly crazy, but it was a good match. Good match between Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia for the interim TNT Championship. Guevara was in control early. We had a nice backbreaker by Garcia. Sammy then came in with a huge springboard senton plancha. The Inner Circle then came out to watch Sammy. Garcia then with a nice backdrop driver for a 2. Kingston came out as well. Eddie Kingston, that is. Garcia then with a very nice sharpshooter. It was in deep. I would not want to take that fucking sharpshooter. Sammy Guevara's legs were bent the other fucking way. Sammy then with a really shitty looking crossroads. That got a 2 count. Garcia caught Sammy off the ropes with a coquina clutch, which looked awesome. Then he hit a pile driver, but Sammy kicked out. 2.0 came out. They jumped Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho. Sammy got distracted by 2.0, and Daniel Garcia nearly stole it, but Guevara ended up hitting the Go to Hospital, and he retains in a good main event. Not overly crazy, but a good main event. This episode of Dynamite was very storyline driven, which I did not mind at all. I think that actually helps the overall product a bit. But a very good episode of Dynamite, focused a lot on storylines. And then afterwards, we had Jericho and Kingston sending 2.0 packing, and Jericho and Kingston had a face-off, and I do believe that that could very well be a Revolution match. Very good episode of AEW Dynamite. Pretty solid stuff. Let's check the chat, which, by the way, I don't know if you guys are aware, but we have hit 20 likes. Holy shit. That is what I like to see, people. 20 solid likes, 20 solid thumbs up. Thank you all for stopping by, and thank you all for watching me and choosing the Stormsmeister on your Saturday afternoons to talk some professional wrestling. You guys are fucking awesome. Keep on sending out the stream on all platforms of social media and get some more people in here. Maybe we'll get some more people to go after Lisa for her fascination for MJF, because we all know that Lisa's an avid mark for MJF. Hula Grim, obviously, he's watching me in the midst of a tsunami, in the midst of a tsunami warning, which is fucking crazy. And Dee, of course, she's my number one mod. Earl Cole's my day one A1, and I will be on Earl Cole's channel next Thursday at 8 p.m. We're going to be talking about AEW Dynamite, which I have no issue with. Good stuff right there from Mr. Cole, a bebe. Let's move on here. Let's move on to NXT UK. NXT UK. NXT UK was really just a one-match show. Hey, listen, Rob. Don't get all hypersensitive now. You know I appreciate you. You know that you're a big part of the DJ Storms posse. You're a big part of my success here on YouTube. Relax, all right? Relax. I can't name everybody. We love you, Rob. Don't worry. But NXT UK. Let's talk about NXT UK. This is the fourth show. We got 2 more shows after this, and then we can all get out of here. We can enjoy our Saturdays. I know I'll be talking to Dee later. I'll see what she's up to. Make sure that she's all right. I'll probably be FaceTiming with Lisa later, because Lord knows that they got how many? 4 fucking feet of snow up there in Buffalo. NXT UK. NXT UK. One-match show. Really just a one-match show. And it was the Walter-Nathan Fraser match, which was a great fucking match. If you guys didn't watch the Walter-Nathan Fraser match, I would absolutely go back and watch that match. So Dave Meltzer and Jack Stars, they kicked off the show. They took on Die Familia. This is Tio Man and Rohan Raja with Charlie Dempsey at ringside. So I actually like the makeup of Die Familia. I was not very high on Tio Man or Rohan Raja. But since they paired them together, I think they're a great fucking tag team. And on top of that, now you add Charlie Dempsey, who was rather lukewarm to begin with. That right there is a huge help for all 3 of these men. That is great. Great stuff right there. I think Die Familia is going to be a force to be reckoned with in NXT UK. So this was the semifinals of the NXT Tag Team Title Number 1 Contenders Tournament. The winner would go on to face Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter. The babyfaces were in control early. Die Familia then isolated Stars. Stars then got tagged to Mastiff with a big crossbody and a back body drop to Rohan Raja. We had a big rolling senton, drop kick to Tailman on Raja, and a senton on Raja by Dave Mastiff. Dempsey then tried to take out Stars, and he did. All of a sudden, we had Gallus coming out. They distracted Die Familia, and Dave Mastiff with a German suplex, and he ended up winning the match. And Dave Mastiff won the match for his team, and Jack Stars and Dave Mastiff advance. They advance to the finals, to face off against Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter. And I actually think that Smith and Carter are going to win that because there's no team. Out of the 4 of these teams, the best match would absolutely be Smith and Carter. Absolutely be Smith and Carter. So, really nothing special right here. It was just a match that was kind of there. They really should have given this match more time, if I'm going to be honest with you. So, after that, Gallus ended up standing tall as they attacked Di Familia. So, I'm guessing we're going to get that 6-man tag between Gallus and Di Familia sooner rather than later. In 2 weeks, we got Ilya Draganov versus Jordan Devlin for the NXT United Kingdom Championship. Listen, I think that that's going to be a great fucking match, but if we're going to be real here, this is way too early. This match is way too early. Ilya Dragunov, I feel as though he hasn't even had that much of a reign yet. If I'm booking this, I would not have given Jordan Devlin a match this early. Matter of fact, it almost exposes NXT UK. It really exposes NXT UK for the lack of a main event scene that it has, especially with Rampage Brown going down with injury. It's not looking good for NXT UK's main event scene. It really isn't. And to be quite honest with you, I don't know if Jordan Devlin should even win the title right now, but if he doesn't win it here, how are you going to justify another match? Maybe, I'm not sure if this is going to be an absolute, well, what's the word that I'm looking for? This is absolutely going to happen, excuse me. I'm not sure if this is absolutely going to happen, but I could absolutely see Rampage Brown making his return from injury because he was injured by Ilya Dragunov. He gets involved in this match. Then we get Rampage Brown versus Ilya Dragunov versus Jordan Devlin in a triple threat match. And we get Dragunov pinning not Jordan Devlin, Rampage Brown, which could set up another match between Jordan Devlin and Ilya Dragunov down the road, and then Ilya Dragunov can take the title. Not Ilya Dragunov. Jordan Devlin can take the title off of Ilya Dragunov. I'm mixing up the fucking names. But Rampage Brown getting involved here, causing a DQ, which leads to a triple threat. Dragunov pinning Brown, and then we get another match between Jordan Devlin and Dragunov with Jordan Devlin winning the championship. I can absolutely see that happening. Other than that, it's way too early for Dragunov to drop the title, and Jordan Devlin, he can't lose because he's realistically the next in line. Jordan Devlin is the next NXT United Kingdom champion. I don't know what's going to happen, to be quite honest with you. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens, but I do think that these two are going to put on a fucking great match. Amel, the French Hope Amel, she took on Stevie Turner with Ginny at ringside. I don't know why Amel is a babyface. Amel is a really shitty babyface, if we're going to be quite honest with you. I would not have turned her babyface. Amel is a heel. And she's still very green, too. She's very, very green, so I would not even attempt to be showcasing Amel this early in a major storyline in the women's division. Amel is really not all that impressive. I would have her wait and have her generate some actual experience first. I think that they said that she's a 9-year veteran. She's not very good for a 9-year veteran, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. I don't know what it is. But Amel and Ginny, they're in a program. Not really sure what's going to happen there. We'll see what happens. Pretty deadly. I love me some Pretty Deadly. Yes, boy. That's what Pretty Deadly says all the time if you don't watch NXT UK. Pretty Deadly's awesome. Pretty Deadly versus Sam Gradwell, and a partner of his choosing was made for next week, as well as Noam Dar versus A-Kid for the NXT UK Heritage Cup Championship. That should be a great match. I don't see Noam Dar losing the championship. If I'm going to be quite honest with you, Nathan Fraser should be the guy to beat Noam Dar. I actually thought Nathan Fraser was going to beat Walter. To be quite honest, I would have had him beat Walter, but I guess you're protecting Walter for what you have planned for him later on. Maybe we see Walter on the main roster sooner rather than later. That's really not going to be something that I'm going to be overly excited about because the main roster kills everyone, but we'll see what happens with Volta. Speaking of Volta, He took on Nathan Frazer in the main event, which was a great match. Probably the only match on the show that I would tell you to go back and rewatch. So Nathan Frazer, tried to use his quickness against Walter. Walter then chopped him down, literally chopped him down, one hand chop right to the face, and Nathan Frazer goes down. We then had Walter dissecting Frazer. Frazer got chopped in the face. Frazer then came back with a Hurricane Rana cover before Walter kicked out, and Walter with a lariat, turning Frazer inside out. So Frazer came back with a standing shooting star press that got a 2. Walter was caught with a sunset flip powerbomb. He kicked out. Frazer then with a springboard moonsault into the eye of the hurricane. Walter then got drop kicked by Frazer into the barricade. Frazer then targeted the knee. Walter chopped Frazer out of the air. Walter then was going for the powerbomb. He couldn't do it. Could not do it. Frazer hit a super kick. Then he hit a curb stomp. Went up to the top rope, and he delivered a beautiful frog splash. I thought he did it, but Walter kicked out. Walter then hit the powerbomb, and Walter beats Nathan Frazer in his final stand, and now Walter goes on to conquer other lands, probably NXT US, or maybe we see him on the main roster. And if you're asking me, Mr. Rob Wells Jr., to answer your question, in a perfect world, Walter would absolutely be beating Roman Reigns and winning the Universal Championship. But do you trust them to do that? Let's be real. Do you trust them to do that? I don't think so. I really don't think so. But the Walter-Nathan Frazer match, great match. I would absolutely recommend you all to go on Peacock and rewatch that match. It was awesome. Awesome match. Really a nothing show, but they are furthering a few storylines here or there. NXT UK, the problem with NXT UK right now is the fact that, like I said with the Big E Seth Rollins match, the aura around WWE is just so shitty that no one gives a shit about anything that WWE is doing. It's tough for me to care about NXT UK, even though I know that NXT UK is a great fucking show and a great fucking brand. But I just can't bring myself to fully care about it because of how bad the overall WWE product is. And that is not fair to the people of NXT UK, because there's some awesome people within NXT UK. There really is. That was NXT UK for you. Thank you, T-Time744 for joining. We got 22 likes, and we still have a very nice crowd. Thank you all for stopping by, and thank you all for continuing to watch me throughout the stream. We're getting close to 2 hours and 20 minutes. We got 2 more shows to review, and then we're getting out of here. Holy shit, you guys have been awesome. You guys have been awesome, and I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. Thank you. Thank you all. Let's talk about SmackDown, which was absolute dog shit. SmackDown. Listen. SmackDown, the roster is absolutely fucking terrible. It really is. It's absolutely fucking terrible. We had a few decent matches on SmackDown. I'm not going to bullshit you. So, some of the matches on SmackDown were fairly decent. They were fairly decent, but again, how are we supposed to give a shit over a few decent matches when the overall show has just been complete and utter bullshit? It really is. It's nothing but a waste of time. I legitimately just want to stop covering it. I legitimately want to stop covering Monday Night Raw and SmackDown and NXT. I legitimately don't want to cover WWE whatsoever, because there is absolutely nothing about WWE that is redeeming at all. But I know for a fact that I have a lot of people, I got dozens of people over here that are going to come out of their way to watch me on a Saturday. Especially now, this has been the best LFU of the year thus far. Most watch LFU of the year. We got 23 likes. 23 likes, and we got a lot of people coming on in. And we're not done yet either. We're not done yet either. So let's get a few more people in the chat. Not done yet. So we had the Usos kicking off the show. So we had them talking about why they're the ones. Usos saying that, oh, we're the ones. We beat the New Day, all that other bullshit. We're the ones. So we get a number one contenders fatal four-way match. Fatal four-way match. And the Usos said that we got Los Lotharios, we got Mansoor and Cesaro, we got Jinder Mahal and Shanky, and then we got the Viking Raiders. And the Usos started a brawl, and then we go into commercial. Listen, I am not against a number one contenders fatal four-way. I'm not against tag teams competing against each other to find out who's going to face the champions. That's not a problem with me. That's not a problem with me, because champions should be protected. Champions should not be losing in non-title matches. I got no issue whatsoever. I got no issue whatsoever with a number one contenders match, but how exactly are we supposed to care about this match when none of these teams have been doing anything in order to deserve a title opportunity? Jinder Mahal and Shanky haven't won a fucking match since they've been drafted over to SmackDown. We got Cesaro and Mansoor. They aren't even a real tag team. They had one match and they lost to Los Lotharios a few weeks back. Los Lotharios, they haven't exactly been on the winning end either. And then the Viking Raiders, they just lost to Happy Corbin and fucking Madcap Moss last week. But yet all these teams are fighting for a number one contender spot. How are we supposed to care? The match itself was good. The match was good. I'm not going to discredit what these men did in the ring. Even Jinder Mahal and Shanky, even they didn't. Even I didn't mind them. I don't know what it is. I didn't mind Jinder Mahal and Shanky. If anything, this is probably the best thing for both of them. Now, I would fire them tomorrow if I was in WWE and I was running the company. I'd fire both of them tomorrow. But Jinder Mahal and Shanky, in this tag team role, since they're not carrying the load, you have the Viking Raiders in there, and you got Los Lotharios, and you got Cesaro and Mansoor. You got 6 great wrestlers with one wrestler who's absolute shit, and then another tall wrestler who is very green. I don't know. I didn't even mind them. I didn't even mind them. I don't know. Think of that what you will, but I didn't mind them. So Ivar took over control on Shanky. The Viking Raiders with some nice double team action. We had a big Tower of Doom spot. Then we come back from a second commercial. Cesaro got the hot tag. He hit a Samoan drop on Humberto, mocking the Usos, going, "We the ones," right in the Usos' face. I actually like that. Everyone started getting their shit in. Big moves here and there. We had double suicide dives by Los Lotharios. The Viking Raiders then hit a Viking experience. Very nice Viking experience on Humberto. And the Viking Raiders get the win. I'm actually shocked that they gave it to the Viking Raiders. Like, I am and I'm not. I am and I'm not. But Viking Raiders were actually the right winners here. Now, if I was booking this, considering that they're not merging the rosters, I would merge the rosters, but they're not going to fucking merge the rosters. If I was booking this, I would have Mansoor and Cesaro win, even though they're not a tag team, but I would have them challenge the Usos, and then the Usos beat them, and then we get the Usos versus the Viking Raiders at WrestleMania. That would have been a lot better in my eyes. That would have been a lot better in my eyes. But the Viking Raiders, they are the number one contenders. They're going to face the Usos at the Rumble. If I was booking this, I would actually give the Viking Raiders the tag team titles. I'm not even lying to you. I'd give the titles to the Viking Raiders. I give them to the Viking Raiders, because after the Viking Raiders, there's really no one. Unless Shinsuke Nakamura loses the Intercontinental title and we get Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura challenging the Usos at WrestleMania, we could do that. That could happen. And Nakamura and Boogs could win the titles. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But Viking Raiders, they won. I would give them the tag team titles. And I would have the Viking Raiders hold the tag team titles going into SummerSlam, and I would build up the Viking Raiders versus a Los Lotharios. Or maybe you could do Viking Raiders versus the Usos and Los Lotharios, and then we get a match between the Viking Raiders and Cesaro and Mansoor, maybe the Viking Raiders and the New Day, and they run through all those teams. I would call up Imperium. I would call up Imperium to SmackDown, and I would build up Walter to take down Roman, and then I build up Marcel Bartel and Fabian Eichner to take down the Viking Raiders at SummerSlam. So you got two top-tier tag team matches for both tag team titles at SummerSlam. Got Alpha Academy versus MSK and Imperium versus the Viking Raiders. That right there would be great. I don't know about you, but Imperium versus Viking Raiders, I mean, take my money right there. Give them 15 minutes. That'll be a great fucking match. So, good match. Really nothing too crazy. Naomi and Sonya had another face-off. Sonya called Naomi an extra, not a main event talent. Adam Pearce ended up making a rematch for Charlotte Flair and Naomi next week. And Naomi's not going to be winning. She's going to be taking the L again. During this segment, actually, I was on the phone with Lisa for about 3 hours yesterday, and I actually called Lisa to turn on SmackDown to watch the Sami Zayn skit. Sami Zayn came out for In Zayn, which was a ripoff of Jackass. So he came out with two people wheeling him in a shopping cart, and he was going to jump a ramp over the ring, and he was going to land in a, what was it? A fucking padding right by the announce table. That's what he was planning on doing. So Sammy stopped him, and he goes, "You know what? No, we're not doing this. This is not safe." Pat McAfee was actually hilarious during this segment. Pat McAfee is pretty much carrying SmackDown with Roman Reigns. Pat McAfee, before Sammy did it, he goes, "This is better than Evel Knievel jumping over the Grand Canyon." I thought that was fucking hilarious. And then when Sammy didn't do it, Pat McAfee goes, "This guy stinks." So I thought that was hilarious. Rick Boogs then came out, and he distracted Sami Zayn. Rick Boogs, he cut his hair. He kind of looks like Rick Rude now. So Rick Boogs came out with Nakamura. Nakamura was behind him. Nakamura delivered a Kinshasa to Sammy. And then Sammy was tossed over the top rope by Boogs onto the padding. Literally, the Intercontinental title has been reduced. The Intercontinental title has been reduced to a storyline between two great professional wrestlers that are doing a ripoff of Jackass. This is Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura, two men who delivered the match of the fucking year in 2016. And you have them doing a ripoff of Jackass to build up an Intercontinental fucking title feud. And people wonder why no one gives a shit about the product. And the only reason why SmackDown is over 2 million is because it's on Fox. Aaliyah versus Natalya. So Natalya was bragging that she was now a part of the Guinness Book of World Records for having the most matches out of any female in WWE history, right? Aaliyah was attacked before the match. Aaliyah wanted to compete. This match legitimately went 3 seconds. This match legitimately went 3 seconds. The announcer actually announced that Aaliyah set a new record for the quickest victory in WWE. 3.1 seconds. I mean, if you needed any fucking indication of what WWE thinks of women's wrestling, there you go. There you fucking go. It's a fucking joke. It really is a fucking joke. But yet Mickie James agreed to come back. 3-second matches. Mickie James agreed to come back, and some people are actually supporting her? Holy shit. I mean, talk about comedy hour. Talk about fucking comedy hour. Mickie James agreed to come back, And a week after she is announced to come back, they have a 3-second match. I mean, if that is not a spit in the fucking face to Mickie James, I don't know what to fucking tell you. Throughout the night, they were replaying some really awesome promo packages for Rollins and Reigns, hyping up their days in the Shield. I actually loved it. Looked great. Lita was interviewed by Michael Cole. Lita indeed came out. She looked great Lita looks great. Lita does not age. I don't know what the fuck it is, but holy shit, Lita looks great. She still looks like she's 20, 29, 30. Lita looks amazing. Wow. By the way, she actually turned down an offer from AEW. She turned down an offer from AEW and a program with Britt Baker to go and wrestle for WWE in the Women's Royal Rumble. I mean, I'm not sure what that's all about, but I'd say that's probably because of the fact that if she was to do that, WWE would never allow her back, and maybe she wanted to hang around and see all of her friends that are employed by WWE. I don't fucking know. I don't know. But Lita, she was interviewed by Michael Cole. She went on about her career and how she plans to enter the Rumble and win the Rumble. Charlotte Flair came out. She interrupted Lita. And I think everybody knows the code here. Let me take a drink of my Poland spring water. Fuck Charlotte Flair. Fuck Charlotte Flair. And all of her supporters, because they're all fucking idiots. Let's see what we got here. We got Danielle Wolf. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We got, we got Rob Wells Jr. Thank you very much. But I only see 2 people saying it. I need more people saying the FCF, all right? I need more people saying it. Charlotte Flair came out. She interrupted Lita. She took the mic from Michael Cole. She went on about how she'll win and then she'll pick her own opponent for WrestleMania and she's going to kill Lita's dream. Lita said that Charlotte had a giant head. The crowd chanted giant head. I mean, you know, let me tell you something. I think I'm not disagreeing with Lita because Charlotte does have a giant head. She has a giant head. She has a giant ego, too. Not disagreeing with Lita right there. So Lita then slapped Charlotte and gave her a twist of fate, which, by the way, Charlotte sold this twist of fate horribly. Holy shit. She sold this twist of fate so bad that she was literally crawling around literally less than 10 seconds after Lita delivered the move, acting like what Lita delivered to her was of no effect. What the fuck is Charlotte doing? And yet people want to call her the greatest of all time, yet she can't even fucking sell a twist of fate good. This is why I fucking hate Charlotte and her fan base, because Charlotte is clearly not one of the greatest of all time. She's a good pro wrestler, but if you're telling me she's the best in that company, holy shit, I'll gladly go up to your face and call you fucking retarded. And don't even get me started on her fucking fan base, because now I have to listen to someone who's a fan of Charlotte defend Charlotte. Oh, it's all Lita's fault. No, it's not. Charlotte sucks dick. My God. I am so fucking sick of it. I really am. Ricochet versus Sheamus. Let me tell you something. WWE doesn't even know it. WWE doesn't even know it, but they could have a great mid-card. WWE could have a great mid-card, and they don't even know it. But they could have a great mid-card if they put effort and booked their superstars correctly. Imagine how good a Ricochet and Sheamus match could have been if they actually booked these stars as if they are superstars. They're booked like bums. The match itself was very good. Probably the best thing on the show. This is probably the best thing on the show. I really, really, really was into this match. They work very well together, do Ricochet and Sheamus. So, Ricochet got a new theme song. No shit. I mean, they're changing everything about all these Triple H guys. Changing everything is Vince McMahon. So Ricochet came in with a punt kick and a huge Fosbury flop on Sheamus. Sheamus took over and he sent Ricochet face first into the steel underneath the ring. He slingshotted Ricochet face first into the steel. Coming back from commercial, we had Ricochet with a very nice crossbody. Sheamus was then draped over the rope, over the middle rope. Ricochet hit a moonsault guillotine knee drop on Sheamus, which looked very good. That got a 2. Sheamus with a tilt-the-world backbreaker. Sheamus took over. They were on the top. Ricochet with a sunset flip powerbomb for a 2. Really nice stuff right there. Ricochet did a handspring, and we had a bro kick by Sheamus for the win. Not really important, but it was still a very good match. Probably the best thing on the show. Kofi Kingston versus Madcap Moss. I'm not even going to lie. This match wasn't bad, but I mean, who gives a shit? The gimmick between Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss is among the worst in the industry. I would gladly watch Abaddon wrestle every single week on AEW television, then watch Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss. And Abaddon's fucking atrocious. Abaddon is fucking atrocious. But holy shit, this gimmick with Corbin and Moss is terrible. And it's really taking away from what Madcap Moss can do in the ring. It really is. Because Madcap Moss is not a bad pro wrestler. He's not. He's pretty decent. So, Kofi did a trust fall to the outside onto Corbin and Moss. Coming back from commercial, Kofi mounted a comeback. We had a punt kick and a boom drop. Kofi went for the SOS, but Moss countered into the punchline for the win, and that was pretty much that. Not bad, but who gives a shit? The gimmick sucks. So, main segment, we had Rollins and Roman face-to-face. So, Roman went, Omaha, acknowledge me. Rollins then put his fist in. He's like, for old time's sake, let's do it. Roman goes, that's beneath me now. So Rollins, he then goes, I'm the last person you want to see. I mean, look at our track record in singles matches. Roman goes, what do you think? What do you think? This is the Roman Reigns of old? I'm the tribal chief now. I'm the greatest of this generation. So Rollins goes, Roman, I was holding your hand, and I sent you packing with everything that you needed, and you still couldn't get it done on your own, and you had to use your famous bloodline to get ahead. I created you, and I can destroy you. Roman goes, you never reached the star power that I have, did you? Which, by the way, I was absolutely loving this promo. He goes, if I wanted to main event the Rumble with a megastar, I would have chosen your wife. I was waiting for that line. I thought the line with Becky Lynch was awesome. The Usos then tried to attack Rollins. Rollins dodged them. He got in Roman's face, and then he was able to get out of dodge. Good promo. Not even going to lie. Good promo. But, again, really tough to care about anything that this company does, especially when they don't put effort into anything except for 4 or 5 people. That was AEW, or not AEW, WWE SmackDown on Friday. We have one more show to go over, and then we can finally get out of here. It's almost been 3 hours. You guys are absolutely the best fans I could ever ask for, especially when most of the time I usually do 1 stream a week, every single Saturday. You guys are fantastic. Thank you all for stopping by. One last show to review. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. AEW Rampage, which was a very good show. I actually prefer this show in terms of pro wrestling over Dynamite. Dynamite was more of that was a storyline built show. That doesn't mean it was bad, but Rampage was where the real professional wrestling took place. Really good wrestling on the show, I gotta say. The show kicked off with Adam Cole versus Trent Beretta. Trent, as Justin Roberts said. So, Trent Beretta was in control. Trent Beretta was in control with some stiff strikes. Cole tripped up Beretta on the apron. Trent then countered with a back body drop on the floor. Trent then accidentally sent himself into the barricade. Coming back from commercial, Trent then mounted a comeback. Big German suplex and a nice swinging DDT for a 2. Trent then with an avalanche brainbuster for a very close 2 count. Cole then with a nice backstabber. Trent sold it beautifully. Trent came in with a half and half. He went for a suplex on Cole, but Cole hit a knee drop brainbuster. That got a 2. Trent then, like the fucking madman that he is, he hit a pile driver to Adam Cole on the apron, put Cole in the ring. Cole kicked out. Cole then, he reversed the Strong Zero into a Canadian Destroyer. Trent kicked out. Trent then with a nice lariat. Cole with a super kick. A second super kick. Trent then hit the Strong Zero, but Cole got his foot on the bottom rope. We get a big faction brawl on the outside. Really crazy brawl. And then all of a sudden, while the referee is distracted, we see Adam Cole hit a low blow on Trent behind the referee's back. Cole then with the last shot. And Adam Cole gets the win in a great fucking match to kick off Rampage. Trent Beretta, very underrated as a professional wrestler. We all know how good Adam Cole is, but Trent Beretta needs to be appreciated a lot more. He's very underrated, very underappreciated. He can go. Trent Beretta can go. Awesome match to kick off the show. Really good stuff right here. So, from there, we go into a match with Shawn Spears and Andrew Everett. This match literally went 30 seconds. Shawn Spears wins with a C4, a very cocky cover by Shawn Spears. Gotta love Shawn Spears. Shawn Spears, he came out with Wardlow, did he? Shawn Spears then took the mic, right? Shawn Spears took the mic and he said, "Is he really the best in the world? What about me? I gave everything for this. Oh, but he's not marketable. I'm the guy that is going to send a message to everyone. I'm the guy that they send a message. And I make sure a message is delivered," says Shawn Spears, right? He goes, "There will be no warning, and I never apologize. One swing of this chair, and I'll make sure you remember me forever." The crowd was chanting Wardlow, which was awesome. "Next week, Punk, you're in there with a 20-year veteran, and I'm going to expose you. In 5 days, the chairman cometh." Shawn Spears does not get the credit that he deserves as a professional wrestler. He really doesn't. Shawn Spears is a very good professional wrestler, and he honestly deserves a lot more appreciation than he gets. Him and Trent are great at what they do. And I really don't understand how more people aren't realizing this. Seriously. Shawn Spears and Punk, I think it's going to be a great fucking match, really. It's going to be a great match. So, Chris Statlander. She teamed up with Layla Hirsch and Red Velvet to take on Nyla Rose, Penelope Ford, and the Bunny. Lisa, calm yourself down. We don't need you getting too soaked. All right? By the way, we have 24 likes. You guys have been spoiling me all fucking stream. You guys are awesome. 24 fucking likes. Awesome shit. So we had this 6-woman tag. It was decent, but let's be real here. This match was only done to further the storyline between Statlander and Layla Hirsch. And that's pretty much that. I do believe that the match itself between Statlander and Hirsch, when we inevitably get that match and they are given some time, it's going to be a great match. Really going to be a great match. I'm very much looking forward to seeing that match. And I do believe that Leyla Hirsch is going to get the win. I do believe Hirsch is going to get the win because Thunder Rosa is going to need challengers. She already has Deeb for her waiting in the wings after Thunder Rosa wins the title. Now, we could very well see Leyla Hirsch throw her name into the fold. I would love to see a Leyla Hirsch versus Thunder Rosa match. That would be awesome. That'd be awesome. So the match itself, decent. We had the heels taking over as Leyla Hirsch. She wanted to get the hot tag, and she wanted to tag herself in. So Nyla took over, and she had a very nasty choke slam on Red Velvet for a 2. Velvet then made the tag to Statlander, and she lit up Ford. Nice gourd buster for a 2. Statlander with the spider crab, but Vicky Guerrero got involved. The bunny then tagged in. She broke up the spider crab. We then had the bunny eating a very nice blue thunder bomb for a 2. Leyla Hirsch tagged in. Bunny sent Hirsch into Chris Statlander, and then she rolled up Hirsch for the win, and the heels take over. Again, like I said, really nothing more than to further the storyline between Hirsch and Statlander. When the match happens, I do believe it is going to be an excellent fucking match, and Hirsch will take the win, and she'll be a challenger for Thunder Rosa. Ricky Starks. Absolute Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks. He was cutting a promo on Jay Lethal. He was on commentary. Lethal then came out and he said, I've been watching what's been happening between Dante Martin and Team Taz, and it's making me sick to my stomach. There's no line of challengers for your title because it's not a recognized title, but you know what? I still want it. And maybe it's because you're too infatuated with trying to decide which outfit you're going to wear as opposed to being a pro wrestler. Nice line right there by Lethal. I'm going to issue a challenge to you. Ricky Starks versus Jay Lethal for the FTW title. Now, I know you're not going to give me an answer right now, so talk it over with Taz, and whatever whatever Taz says, do the opposite. Really interesting stuff right there. I mean, Starks versus Jay Lethal, take my money. I would actually give the FTW title to Jay Lethal. I would give the title to Jay Lethal, and I would have Jay Lethal hold the championship until Hook comes on in, and Hook, he could take the title off of Jay Lethal. That would be awesome. You could have Jay Lethal legitimately bring some prestige to the FTW World Championship, even though it's not a recognized title. I would not mind that at all. Take my money for that match. Main event, Jurassic Express versus John Silver and Alex Reynolds. This is for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. This was a great fucking match. Awesome match. And John Silver and Alex Reynolds, they were the perfect first opponents for Jurassic Express. And I really think that Jurassic Express, they're going to have a very nice championship title reign. For those of you asking why MLW is suing WWE, go back to the beginning of the stream. I talked about it at the beginning of the stream. So the match started off with Jurassic Express in early control, isolating Alex Reynolds. Silver then came in with a punt kick to Jungle Boy. Silver had a stare down with Christian Cage. Very nice stare down right there. So Johnny Hungy then had Jungle Boy in a suplex hold. Reynolds with a suicide dive through the ropes, and then he pushed Jungle Boy into a brainbuster by Silver, which looked fucking crazy. Awesome spot. So from there, Jungle Boy was then isolated. Then coming back from commercial, we had a tag to Luchasaurus, right? Silver and Reynolds, they were at the mercy of Luchasaurus. We had a choke slam by Luchasaurus onto Silver, onto Reynolds. Silver kicked out. Silver then, with some stiff strikes to Jungle Boy, we had a tag to Reynolds. We had a suplex to Silver. Jungle Boy then went for a superplex on Alex Reynolds. All of a sudden, Luchasaurus came in. He had John Silver in a powerbomb position, and we had Jungle Boy delivering a superplex to Reynolds while Silver German superplex Jungle Boy while Luchasaurus powerbombed Silver. So this was a mega Tower of Doom suplex, German suplex, powerbomb, death spot. It was fucking crazy. Props to all four of these guys. Fucking nuts. Everyone got their big strikes in. Luchasaurus then was taken out by Silver. We had a big combo by Silver and Reynolds. The German suplex, super kick stunner, and then a bridging pin. 1, 2, Jungle Boy barely got his shoulder up. I swear to God, I thought we saw John Silver and Alex Reynolds become the tag team champions right there. Crazy fucking spot. We then had a big lariat on Alex Reynolds. Then we had Jungle Boy, another crazy spot. He Hurricane Rona'd Silver all off the apron and sent Silver into Evil Uno. Fucking crazy. Then Luchasaurus mounted himself, and we got a huge destroyer off of Luchasaurus to Reynolds by Jungle Boy. Cover, Reynolds kicked out. We had the assisted cutter by Jurassic Express, a little sloppy. And then we had a suicide dive by Jungle Boy taking out John Silver, and Luchasaurus pinned Reynolds to retain. Minus the sloppy cutter, this was still a great main event, a great tag team title match, perfect match to begin Jurassic Express's World Tag Team title reign. And I really do believe that this is going to be the start of a very good reign for Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. Really, really, really awesome stuff right there. And ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. Thank you to everyone who came in. Lisa, Rob Wells Jr., Dee Dee, Danielle, Peanuts, and we got Earl Cole. Thank you as well. Thank you to Adam Carl. Thank you to Xavier. Thank you to All Elite Satire. Thank you to Chris. Thank you everyone who came in. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. Next Thursday night, it is the Wrestling Experience where I will be a guest with Earl Cole. And it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Me and Earl Cole, we go together like tacos and Tuesdays, you know? I greatly appreciate every single one of you. Thank you all for stopping by. Next week, we got the LFU. I'm going to get a nice guest for the Royal Rumble Rundown and more. My name's DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash Update, and I will catch you next week for another solid week in the world of pro wrestling. And you guys have an awesome, awesome, awesome weekend.